Hold on. We can fix that. We have the technology. Your vents. There we go. All right. Now it's a show. And speaking of now it's a show, welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 436. Your once-a-week live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff. Did we lose Vince? Where did Vince go? Uh-oh. Vince. Oh, great. I swear all I did was change his border. I can change it back. Does that help? Oh no. Vince. I'm Jeff. Oh, there he goes. He's officially crashed. Hooray. I'm Jeff, your wonderful guide to the world of tech, and apparently this is a solo show as I stare into the infinite void of 3DFX logos. Hopefully Vince will be joining us back shortly. There he is. There he is.
We're doing this old school style. Literally, you hit the go live button and my laptop died, like hard died.
Wow.
So as you can tell, I'm not on my normal laptop right now. I just grabbed the closest thing to me. So I'm going to be doing this off the cuff and getting my setup going as we're live.
Cool. I've got a pretty strong echo in my headphone from me. So I don't know how quickly you can get headphones in, but I'd prioritize that.
Cool. I will do that first. Is this any better?
Yes. Okay, cool.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I got headphones. You can hear me. I can hear you. Good.
Perfect. Hey, the show's back on. I'm Jeff.
I'm Crash. I mean, Vince.
Welcome to the show, everyone.
Wow.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Spotify or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, tech, games, entertainment, tech news, things that are relevant to us. Really,
Tech crashing.
Really, it's just me in a basement drinking beer, telling you about things that I like. And that's the show. If you like the content you see on this channel, want to help support us in what we do, consider joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. As a bonus, you can join the exclusive Discord server, where you can chat with myself, as well as all the other hosts from Talking Heads, and join the awesome community that hangs out there throughout the week. This video does not have a sponsor, but I do have some really fun stuff to share. Head on to the video description and check out my affiliate links for lttstore.com. Get yourself a screwdriver, precision driver kit, anything like that. And there's no qualms about me saying I get a kickback when you buy things. So go click the link and buy you some things.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a good show. We got Computex in the rearview mirror. We got AI IPOs in the foreground in front of us. And boy, if SpaceX's IPO doesn't crash the economy, I think Anthropic's might finish it off.
I mean, and there's how many more companies behind them in that line?
Yep.
We are right there ready for that to happen, right?
Yep.
Not in a good way.
No. God, I think in the description I said Anthropic eyes IPO with one toe off the cliff. Do we get Craft Computing colors on the screwdriver? You know, I really need to... I should talk to them and start doing creator-specific color screwdrivers. So if you want the LTT driver, but in like Craft Computing green and black, then that should be an option. This one I built at LTX a couple years ago. And I didn't want the black caps. I wanted it very bright and visible. And this was as close to my green as they have, but it's way more lime than my green. My green is 21500. It is literally all green, no blue, no red, no shades of anything else, and a little bit on the darker side. But man, if we could get like a genuine Craft Computing green with some black and maybe like a pinstripe or some crap, like that'd be freaking cool. I don't know how open they'd be to this as well, but my precision driver is engraved. They sent this over to me when they launched the precision drivers, and they did give me the Craft Computing green on the driver handle. So, but maybe that's worth a conversation, because that could be fun. Anyway, how you doing, Vince?
Oh, speaking of, custom merch, do you see this right here behind me?
Ooh, yeah, check that out. An OG Craft Computing bottle, water bottle.
Yep.
Good stuff.
I still remember the fake controversy on your Discord about it, too. So, let's see if you remember this one. A bunch of us paid for shipping, but you didn't ship it to us.
Yes.
And so members of the Discord were asking, I was like, well, since they weren't shipped in the mail, do we get shipping refunded? And I'm like,
well, here's the deal, though. You didn't pick them up. I still drove them to a location.
I just happened to be in that physical location.
Right. That sounds like a you problem.
So no, all of us who got them hand delivered to us were like, why do we care about refunded shipping?
Complained about the shipping cost when PDX LAN, like, it's a fun event. It's a blast to go to, but make no bones about it. Like, it's expensive to go. It's probably $600 to $700 a person for hotel, travel, food. You got to get your rig there. You got to get everything else involved, and that's if you stay on the cheap end of things. And so all these people complained that I showed up to PDX LAN with merch they had bought and hand delivered it to them, yet had the gall to charge $12 for shipping.
Yeah, good times.
Should have been a group buy rate or something, like.
get a craft group on going.
Yeah. All right, everyone, put $1 in the pot.
Oh god.
Anyway,
after all that, I need a drink.
Yes.
God, like, thanks, laptop. So I had a feeling that laptop may have had issues. So I was actually working on a video talking about that laptop, right?
Uh-huh.
And I did take it apart to the point that I had to repaste it. And it hasn't been the same since. But the thing is, that laptop has been running for hours today with the camera, the live stream, everything going, right?
Yeah.
It literally, you hit go live and it died.
It was the funniest thing because I hit go live and I saw the YouTube preview come up, and then you went, oh, the frame is wrong. And so I unchecked the
So you did hear that?
I did hear that.
Okay.
I heard that. I heard the frame is wrong, and I went, oh, I can fix that. And I went unselect Tom, select Vince, and we're live. Welcome. And you were just solid frozen.
No, it was definitely on my end though. Like I said, like, I had no mouse. You know, you do the numlocks check, you do the mouse check. You know, different things like that. Like, nothing was responding.
Just stone cold dead. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I've been seeing with it. Like, it's not overheating, and I was only using one of the two GPUs. Yes, two GPUs in a laptop. That's going to be covered in the video.
Right.
How dumb that is. But yeah, I haven't quite figured out what's going on with the laptop. Maybe the CPU is overheating because I did actually repaste that too. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Like, that wasn't pasted on that CPU when I took it off. When I opened it up, it was rock solid to the point I had to use sandpaper to get it off.
You were on literally an archaeological dig to get that CPU out of there. Yeah.
So I did the best I could with sandpaper, and I used PTM 7950 when I put it back together. But I have a feeling that there might still just be something wrong with the CPU and whatnot.
Yeah. Because that's the only thing that you've really changed, right? Outside of the Franken GPU.
I disassembled virtually everything because in the video I was trying to get to a specific component.
Okay, gotcha.
And then once I had virtually the entire laptop apart and I couldn't get it further disassembled, ooh, my camera's doing fun stuff right now. I had it almost fully virtually disassembled. There were certain things I couldn't reach. And then I realized you access it from the other side by taking the keyboard off, and underneath the keyboard was everything I was trying to find anyway. So all I had to do, and it's done, there's only one screw holding on the keyboard, mm-hmm. but you have to take the entire bottom of the chassis off to get to that one screw. But then you have access to everything, because I wanted to upgrade the Wi-Fi on it, was actually my main goal.
Okay, yeah.
And the new Wi-Fi chip is working, even though like that's not this issue because I'm hardwired. At least that laptop was. This one's not. This laptop, this laptop's just gonna work. It's the MacBook M5. Like,
Oh yeah, you're good.
that's why like when that thing crashed, I'm like, do I boot it back up and try again and see how long it lasts, or do I just go to what I know is the most reliable thing in my entire arsenal?
Yep. So yet again, Talking Heads is 100% Mac based because I'm on a Mac Mini M4.
Yeah.
So I have some of that in my fridge. My wife loves that one.
Yeah. So this is a 6.9%.
Yep.
Bourbon barrel peach hard cider.
Yes. I'm not a huge fan of peach anymore. Like, I used to love peaches when I was a kid, but that's one of the tastes that left me as I hit my 20s. Like, I just do not like peaches anymore. Still love pears, but yeah, peaches are. I don't know. I don't know what about it. Just peaches and mango. I don't like either one.
Taste changes over time.
Yep. However, love beer today. Like, early 20s, hated beer. 28, 29, fell in love with beer. Like, it is so weird. I am going with, a couple of weeks ago, I had a Symphonic Chronic Double Dank from Deschutes Brewing. This time I'm going with a Symphonic Chronic Double Juicy, which is their hazy version. And a little bit of a juice bomb going on. It's quite good.
There. Propped up the laptop a little bit, so I'm not going to get as much neck damage from this call. Actually, here, let me swap to my other chair. I actually have a second chair right here that sits quite a bit lower.
Nice.
Which normally wouldn't have been a problem because I have like multiple screens and everything set up for the other environment, but like that is just real bad on my neck.
Yeah.
There we go. Now I'm almost eye level with the laptop.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to like damage myself trying to do this call.
Yeah, please don't hurt yourself on my accord. Like, yeah.
Get as comfortable as I can in this other not good chair.
Yeah. I had a video go live a couple hours ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Did you?
I did.
It's just perfectly, totally normal video, just talking the usual stuff like
Yep.
a review of some hardware or something. It's just whatever.
Yep.
Same old, same old.
Same old, same old. No big deal. Just why are we constantly pushing the bounds of what's acceptable and normal in how much money we spend on whatever thing? And not that there's anything wrong with shooting for the stars in a hobby or something that you enjoy, but it's not a requirement. And there's also a gross misunderstanding from my video, as I've gotten in the comment section, of what the word if means. It feels like I'm talking to Bill Clinton. Where... God, that reference is 30 years old now.
We're going to talk about other 30-year-old stuff in another topic.
Yes, we are. So, I said in the video, if you can find a 9070 16 gig at MSRP, it is a better buy than the 9070 GRE at $549. If you can spend the $50 more, buy the better card. Which leaves room for an unknown alternative, which is you can't find that card for MSRP, and instead of $600, that card is, the average running price on Newegg was $718. That's a far larger difference. In fact, that's a 31% price increase over the $550 GRE. Doesn't make any sense anymore, does it?
Nope.
Couple that with all the other things that you've upgraded in your system, because it only makes sense to do that while you're there. Make sure you buy the motherboard that works for you. Make sure you buy the cooler that works for you. Oh, this one comes in white and it's only $20 more. Ooh, got to make sure you buy the power supply that comes with all the extras, and make sure you get only Noctua fans, because God knows any other fan can't move any air at all. They're just spinning blades. You know, before you're done, you've spent $800 because it was a better deal to buy the more expensive thing.
So the thing is that, like, depending on what you're building for, also, like, the one thing I'm tired of all these reviews are overlooking, and you touched on this a little bit with your build, is it's not just dollar per frame.
Yeah.
Like, these are things that are going to sit on our desk and we want them to look cool, or we have a utilitarian reason to have them.
Right.
So it's not just frame. Like, when I built my main LAN party rig, it's in a damn A4 SFX. That is one of the smallest ITX, I think actually is technically the smallest ITX case there is for a dual slot GPU.
Yeah, it's what, a 6.4 liter or something like that?
7 point something, but yeah.
Yeah, it's I built, my LAN rig is the Fractal Design Ridge, which is only 3.5 inches thick. And it's like a 12-liter case. I could fit 2 of your cases in my case, and my case was a tight squeeze to get everything in there.
Yeah, and so, like, I was building with a specific utilitarian idea in mind. That thing had to go in a backpack because I take Amtrak to PDX land.
Yeah.
So that meant every single thing bumped up in price because I needed to do specialty and niche stuff across the board. But the inverse is also true. Like, if you're going for the budget build, you don't want to spend the extra $20 on your RAM, the $20 on the CPU, the $20 on the motherboard, the fans, like you mentioned, like getting the fancy fans. Like, you're buying one part budget because you're buying everything budget because you have a budget.
Yeah.
And that word budget means physical dollars in the real freaking world.
Yeah. Yep. Also, more frames does make your gaming experience better. If we're talking about a leap from 45 to 60, or from 60 to 90, or from 90 to 120. Once you cross a certain threshold, though, more frames does not make a damn bit of difference.
Unless you're in the competitive scene, and then you probably have the budget and making money, and it's a business, not a hobby.
But then we're also back to the utilitarian, single purpose, I'm designing this to do nothing but sling frames at their absolute fastest possible metric. In which case, yes, absolutely, you need the 9950X3D. You need the 5090. You need these, because that's the difference between eating and not. Same thing if you're building a PC for work or anything else. If we're playing games, though, and the whole point of building a system around the GRE was this is a 100 FPS 1440p ultra capable graphics card,
which is phenomenal performance.
Who is complaining about that?
So a little fun fact, like, I used to follow religiously Overwatch League, so like the top end competitor Overwatch players in the world. And even, like, when they're not competing, like, what do they say, what do they do outside? Like, I was a fan of some of the players and whatnot. Competitive at the top end set all their specs to min.
Yeah.
They don't care about graphics fidelity. They need frame rate above all else.
Yeah.
So they will drop everything to the lowest. So it's like, yeah, you want to make the argument like, oh, it gives you competitive edge. No, that making your polygons look as chunky as hell is what gives you an actual competitive edge.
Yep.
I love the example you gave specifically of, like, the water simulation, because that is one of the hardest things to do in rendering is water simulation.
Yeah.
And that one tick, it's like, oh, it's going to be slightly less reflective, slightly less realistic bouncy. Like, who the hell is going to notice? Even pixel peeping, how are you going to notice?
Oh no, I have 12,000 polygons instead of 36,000 polygons for my water simulation. The game is literally unplayable now.
Right.
You can't even see the difference. And that was kind of, I was in the middle of the swamp, and that's why I wanted to demo that. That's why I picked that location, is I'm not just benchmarking the games. If you notice on a lot of my benchmarks, I talk about performance, but I talk about performance in relation to the game that I'm playing. Does this performance matter? Is it better? There are some games that a 30 FPS 1% low is not that big of a deal because it doesn't detract from the experience or the gameplay at all. There are other games, Borderlands is one that was a huge one because it is such an accurate twitch shooter. You have to be able to sling a mouse and hit a pinpoint from across the map. Is a 75 FPS 1% low feels detrimental in that game. And so I'm a little bit more critical there than I am about Tomb Raider.
I've been with the MacBook here. I've been trying to push gaming on the Mac, and the thing that I've actually been doing the most is playing the game called Car X racing game. And the thing is that like high frame rates don't matter because you're not doing that super large movements and everything like that. You're doing very small micro adjustments when controlling a car.
Yeah.
So like if frame rate drops, okay.
Yeah. I've mentioned this. Project Cars 3 used to be in my normal rotation, and I mentioned this a lot. It's not necessarily highs and lows in that game. It's consistency. I want 90 FPS with a 1% low of 75 in that game because it's not necessarily that you have to do precision inputs, but you need consistent feedback to know, okay, I've corrected enough, now I'm back on course. Or this corner, I need to hit the apex right at a certain point. And you need consistent delivery, not necessarily high average, but stuttery.
And the other thing is like
every game's a little different.
The way we measure frame rate today is not the way we measured frame rate 10, 20 years ago because of VRR. Having variable refresh rate on monitors, the fact that you can lock the frame time to the monitor refresh cycle.
Yeah.
And have that variable refresh cycle, that changes the entire thing. Because like back when we were in CRTs and we were hard lock 60, like getting 59 frames a second felt like trash, but 30 felt good because you had that consistent lock.
Yes.
But in LCDs and OLEDs and everything, we lived that whole life up until more recently. And then once we got VRR and having that enabled, like it does amazingly better.
Yeah.
Just amazingly better.
Yeah. But more frames is not the end game of building a gaming PC. It is a metric, and it's good to know things like that. And it's good to know that, hey, could the 9070 GRE not play a game at a certain setting? That's good information to know if that's a game that you play.
So interesting tidbit from the last PDX LAN. Is, Yocto had the Arc there, the giant, 50, 60, whatever inch screen. And we were playing 4-player Brotato. And we got so much crap on the screen that the game started lagging. And we all just started laughing and having more fun. Like, our fun was directly, inversely proportional to frame rate.
Yes.
Instead of directly proportional.
How many sessions of Crab Champions have we broken the engine where it literally stops counting impacts, and we are just laughing all the way to the bank because we managed to break the game.
We did the dumb. It was
fun. We did the dumb.
I think a lot of these people that are complaining about frame rate, I'm just going to be blunt and rude and say maybe they need more friends.
Yeah.
Because you hear, the experiences we're having, it's like, oh, we go to LAN party, we actually play games, together as a group. And, sure, solo gaming, fine, whatever. But when you're with a group of friends, those things don't matter anymore. You're just doing dumb crap together for the sake of doing dumb crap together. And then you go have pizza and a beer.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do every PDX LAN.
Precisely. Got a couple super chats to get to. This one's from Circuit Rewind. Never heard of him. $20.
Must be new.
Yeah. HTTP error 436. The error doesn't exist, but SteamVR still uses it for some reason. At least that's what the internet is telling me in 5 seconds after the other laptop crashed. One of the funniest things that I had to be solved at PDX LAN was you were the direct recipient of this. Is we had so much multicast traffic blaring over the network at some point. It was crashing different wings and different switches of people. And a lot of people didn't notice it because you're on a gigabit NIC and there's 300 megs of broadcast traffic going on. And you just kind of I'll just drop a couple packets, not a big deal. You had your Windows 98 rig with a 100 meg NIC, which means you were just hard locked.
Yeah. I basically was getting about 1% packets through.
Yeah.
Because there was so much broadcast, multicast traffic that it was just destroying that machine. I eventually cheated and set up a second network card on my main desktop and looped through that, and that way that's behind NAT at that point.
Yeah.
Just so that could at least have internet access.
Yeah.
And I can use that as a client to log into other machines because my desktop's NAT would take care of it.
Yeah. The reason I bring that up is the thing that was causing broadcast storming was the Oculus Connect app for everyone who had VR. Even though they didn't have VR headsets there or anything like that, the client was running on the machines and it was searching out other Oculus devices and clients.
Constantly pushing that much bandwidth and searching, which is way overkill.
Right, but they would ping another client, and that client would go, oh, hey, I'm an Oculus client. Who else is an Oculus client? And rinse and repeat, and every time you receive one, you broadcast back out, and it just kept spamming.
Broadcast storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had this massive broadcast storm through the whole LAN.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. And then I did see this one. Jason's over a $5 super chat. Could use prayers, the force, mana, spell slots, whatever else anyone's got for my dad, who's going in for 2 stints in his heart tomorrow. He will definitely be in my thoughts.
100%.
100%. Jay's been a pretty regular member of the community over the last, 3-4 years, I want to say. Been around for a while, and I'm pulling for your dad, man. So,
yeah, I'll just say stents are no fun.
Yes.
I was on the show a week or two after I had surgery, and that's what they did to me. It wasn't in the heart; it was somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I had a stent shoved inside of me, and it would just. I thought it would be a lot easier than it was.
Yeah.
So.
Anything going inside of you that doesn't belong there is usually worse than it should be, or worse than you think it will be.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, once it comes out, recovery will be in 2 days. And I'm like, your body will just go back to normal. And I'm like, okay. And then the fine print is except for all of these other things.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Yeah. Anyway. Let's see. We've got some news to get to. I kind of want to start with the Gigabyte one.
Nothing happened in the past week. There wasn't a big conference or anything.
Yeah, there's not a big conference or anything like that. But I did see this one come out, and shout out Tobias Mann over at the Register. Oh, gosh darn it. Frickin' Firefox. Where are you at? There you are. Okay.
Maybe you're just screen sharing my other laptop.
Yeah. Shout out Tobias Mann over at the Register. Actually, I've been trying to get him on the show for a little while as well. He's one of my good friends that I see at every conference that I attend. And I saw this picture show up last week at some point, and I went, oh, that's a really cool system. I didn't realize Tobias was the one that took that exact picture. So shout out Tobias. Go read his stuff over on the Register. Anyway, this server gives me all kinds of good feelings. This is the kind of server that I really, really like. It's not necessarily like a general purpose compute box, but it is thinking outside the box in a way that, God, I can't wait to buy one of these in 3 years when they're decommissioned from some startup that decided to buy these and then didn't use them properly and buy them for 10 cents on the dollar.
I want this real bad.
I want this real bad. Gigabyte has built a server platform that, rather than using a Xeon or an Epic or a server-rated ARM processor or anything like that, is using Intel's Lunar Lake mobile chips. 40 of them in a 1U server. 40 node cluster in a pizza box.
Yeah, I've been theorizing how hard it would be to build one of these things for a long time.
So have I.
And the other thing is I actually have a whole fleet of MSO1s deployed, which those are also laptop chips. And like before that, I've used thin clients, which are essentially laptop chips, to do various small-end compute jobs like routers. Yeah, but something like this, container host, straight up.
Yeah.
And I'm doing more and more with distributed workloads right now, and like I do believe they had, was it 1 or 2 NVMe per CPU?
It's 2 NVMe per CPU. It's a Lunar Lake, essentially the Core 5 or whatever it is. It's the 8 core with 32 gigs of LPDDR5X on board. Sorry, Ultra 7 258V. So 32 gigs LPDDR5X, 8533 DDR5, like freaking speedy memory. Dual PCI Express 5.0 M.2s. And so you could run those in a RAID. You could run those. You could drop some 16 gig Optane drives in there and just have like insanely redundant and
Reliable.
resilient. That's the word I was looking for. Resilient. Boot storage with NAS holding everything else. These also include Intel Arc graphics, though, including AV1 encodes. So, God, if you wanted to do a video encode server, a massively distributed like AV encode box, holy crap!
Hey friends, who wants a Plex server?
Who wants a Plex server? All the Plex servers, right?
Well, which is hilarious because like I'm always the one talking down Plex transcode, because I'm like, if you're on your local LAN, you can raw stream videos with 0 transcode. So, and that's what I do. Like, even at my family members' houses, like, they're not going to use enough bandwidth for me to even notice, even with watching a video. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So I have all my family member clients, and yeah, I know I'll always hear the pushback, oh, what about cell phones, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's per client. It's not per user, it's per client.
Yeah, if a client needs transcode, it can access the transcode.
Yeah, but like every client I'm dealing with are 65-inch TVs at family member houses. Like, so I just tell all of them, just disable transcode, raw stream, and don't care.
Yep.
But no, like that is awesome. Imagine a place like LTT having that for the remote editing workstations.
Right? Yeah. Imagine this for just like a highly available Kubernetes cluster or web host or, dynamic containers or, there's so many use cases for, massive multi-node distributed compute like this. Fly-by-night services that you need accessible for a couple of minutes at a time and then kill.
We just got a shout out for how cheap a Plex lifetime is in the chat there. It's only $750. That's it's like upgrading your GPU. No big deal. Just get the next tier up.
Right. Oh, great.
That's one GPU.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I've had Plex lifetime for a long time.
Same.
In fact, I didn't pay for mine, nor did I ever do a video for it either. It was given to me, I think, by one of Creative's reps. I did like a couple sound card reviews early on the channel, and the PR rep for Creative happened to also be the PR rep for Plex, and they went, "Do you want a Plex pass?" And I went, "Yeah, sure, I'll use a Plex pass."
And, well, the thing is also back then, if you've had it about the same length of time I have, it was like $100 back then.
It was $99. Yeah.
Yeah, like they used to be cheap, and that's the thing. Like back then, I wasn't doing any in-home streaming at all. I had no care to do it, but I'm like, maybe in a couple years I'll deal with this. I'll buy it now, and then it's next year's project, the year after that. And I eventually did set it up to do stuff. I do have a little bit. And I'm not being sarcastic when I say I have a small library. It's a small library. We're talking like 10 to 15 movies and maybe like 10 to 15 TV shows, and that's it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I do have rips of like family home movie DVDs, for instance. My grandparents, when they drove cross country for whatever reason, they just had the camcorder rolling as they drove through the mountains, and they were just talking dumb shit in the car.
That's kind of fun.
And that was on, it's been transcoded from whatever analog tape, that was over to VHS, then over to DVD, and now it's on Plex. So if anybody in the family wants to see really, really badly recorded video of my grandparents holding a camcorder out the window through the mountains, it's on the Plex server for the family now.
Jay just said, "Oh my god, I just realized this machine is What If Xeon Phi, but more." Not quite.
No.
Xeon Phi was a really interesting thought experiment about what if we took one of our most basic chip designs, which was literally the original Pentium. What if we took our original Pentium 90 chip, we scaled it up to 22 nanometer and then later 14 nanometer process, and we just crammed as many of that chip as we possibly could onto a substrate. And instead of running at 90 megahertz, we ran it at 1.2 gigahertz. That was literally what Xeon Phi was.
Isn't Phi also a single NUMA node?
It is also a single NUMA node. Yeah, it's because the FSB on those was controlled by the chipset. Then all they did was offload to essentially an I/O die, the FSB, which has direct line communication to every CPU core. It was a super, super efficient way to do it. It's just writing software that only needed SSE2 instructions that was scalable in that regard was not really feasible. Like, it just never happened.
I will say straight up, Intel was too far ahead of their time with that idea.
100%. Yeah.
Because they basically preempted scalable parallel vector processing.
Yeah.
Which today we'd call that a graphics processor.
Yeah. No, the running joke of the day when this came out was, Intel's trying to brute force their way into the GPU market.
So what you're saying is that we need Xeon Phi with Optane.
We need Xeon Phi with Optane and a side of SLI.
I'm down.
We call it Infinity Fabric these days, but... But no, that was the basic idea, is what if we took our simplest stable core design and we scaled it down as small as we could and we did a universal interconnect on it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, because like a lot of people forget that back in the day, the processor was literally just a processor.
Yeah.
Like today, they're full-on system on chip. Like there's... we don't have it in this, but we've talked about it in previous ones, or at least you have. The AMD chipset is just a PCI Express device that you can now buy on a daughter card that you can just put in any computer, including Intel. And I'm half tempted to buy one and drop it in ARM.
I have one of the Minis Forums ones, which has dual 25 gig plus 2 NVMe slots on it.
Ooh. Yeah, because... AMD's chipset is literally just a PCI Express bridge.
Yeah.
Or switch. It's a PCI Express switch with a couple things bolted on through PCI Express, like a USB controller, a SATA controller, and is there actually anything else besides those three things?
No.
Because I don't think audio was on it.
No, audio's on the GPU, which is on core.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so it's like... Everything today on a computer is either PCI Express or USB. Literally, everything is.
Yeah.
Which, from a OS programming perspective, holy shit, I'm so happy about that. So few drivers. Like, you think of it as an end user perspective.
It does make architecture so much easier.
Think about it as an actual OS developer. Yeah.
Well, I'm something of a developer myself.
You are. So yeah, if we could get one of these servers for review, maybe 5 of them.
I actually genuinely want one of these. I want to see what I could do with it, and I have like grandiose ideas of like an exclusive tier on the Patreon where being a member of the community grants you access to certain levels of hardware. or
we've
just
talked about that a lot.
We've talked about that a lot. Giving getting OpenStack access to like my V100 box or a Blackwell 6000 or hell, do you need a couple Kubernetes boxes in the cloud that are hosted that cost you $3 a month and that just goes directly to support me? Cool, that's a business model.
Yeah, I was actually, I should have noted down their name. I was watching a YouTuber somewhere in Europe that's doing this. Primarily Minecraft hosting, but he started doing container as well. And he's up to 5 racks in his garage now. Sounds kind of like somebody we know.
Don't call me out like that, okay?
But yeah, like this server platform specifically, I'll give a little bit of spoiler into next week. I'm working on a brand new container platform right now. And some of the insights into it are going to be talked about at a certain developer summit on Wednesday next week.
That's the part you're keeping me in the dark about.
The code...
You've dropped so many hints about what your project is without actually telling me. It's driving me mad. I want you to know that.
It's just this.
I know it's just that. I have one of those too, and it's not even in my color, goddamn you.
Hey, that's not my fault. This one...
You know what? I paid for white glove delivery. I expected my color.
I will also say this will not be in my possession in 1 week.
Oh.
That particular one. Nobody knows what's going on with that yet.
Are you going to be posting anything about the talk on your YouTube channel, or are we relying on just the conference?
So it's the FreeBSD Developer Summit. They will be live streaming it. It's co-hosted with BSD Can, which is the big Canadian BSD convention. I am hoping I will be allowed to have a copy of the video recording. I'm going to bring my own audio recorder.
Yeah.
Just to guarantee that I have solid audio regardless.
Yep.
And then, if they will allow me, I'm going to either repost it on my channel, or YouTube does have a shared posting thing now where you can have it on multiple channels.
You can do collaborations, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to see if that's an option. That way it just appears on mine and theirs, and if I have better audio, see if I can just say, hey, I'm going to go fix up the file because I might know how to do that now.
Yeah.
Kind of been teaching myself a little bit about video editing for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. I have a confession to make, and I feel it's very apt to make it here to you. And that's that I did my second bit of vibe coding this week. I did one previously, and I think I talked about this on the stream. Flashing 700 units of OpenViro. And they're basically Raspberry Pi Picos. So you plug in the device, and then you have to drag a UF2 firmware file over to the USB drive, and then let it copy, and then it automatically disconnects, and then will connect to serial. I vibe coded a flashing program that will, on detection of a Pi Pico device being plugged into the machine, automatically copy firmware, automatically disconnect it, automatically reconnect it, connect the serial, and then verify the temperature sensor readings. And so it took the 30 seconds of if this then that manual thing that I have to do on my laptop out of the equation. Now I just plug in the USB cable, and it does the rest, and it tells me pass or fail.
These are the types of things that AI are phenomenal at, by the way.
And
one-off scripts.
It saved me 30 seconds 700 times.
So far.
Right. Exactly.
So there's still the future.
Yeah. I did my second bit of vibe coding, and actually it's on my GitHub, my very small GitHub repository. Look at that. I've got 3 boxes filled out. Look at me. Woohoo!
3 whole days of programming.
Woo! These two were literally just uploading those, and then this was doing the vibe coding earlier this week. And so earlier this year, I revisited my VPN gateway tutorial, which is connecting to a commercial VPN, so a NordVPN or a, whoever you have, as a private and secure tunnel. But using a server to route clients through where the clients themselves don't have any awareness of the VPN tunnel. You just send it to, use that server as a gateway device. There's also a kill switch on that. So if the VPN connection ever breaks, there is zero traffic leaked to the web in general. So if you're trying to obfuscate your traffic from your ISP or things like that, this is the perfect method of doing that. Gives you a little bit of anonymity in a world where that is very fleeting.
Totally.
I've had a problem where some of the servers that I like to connect to will randomly disconnect 2 or 3 times a day. And OpenVPN, while it has some auto reconnect measures in it, they haven't really been all that successful. The only way that I can do this with the script that I wrote is by restarting the service that I had built. And I built the service from scratch completely by hand, but I needed a watchdog service that will detect when connection has been broken, not on the first sign of trouble, but maybe give it 60 seconds. So it's not like, oh, I dropped a ping. Oh, shit, reboot everything. No, like, wait it out. See if it comes back. If it doesn't come back, then restart the service automatically, because nothing drives me more crazy than getting on my device, which is always connected to a VPN, and going, oh crap, the VPN's down again, having to log into my server, reboot the service, verify that it works, getting back on the device, okay, now it works. So I did exactly that. I vibe coded a watchdog service and complete installation instructions on how to do it. It's very simple. It's a very simple script. I couldn't write this. I'm a script kiddie at best.
A lot of the scripting I do these days, I know what I want to do. I just don't know the syntax to do it. And I'm not saying that as like, oh, I don't know how to code. No, I've been a software engineer for 30 years.
Right.
I do want to do this will come up in a section in a video that I'm currently drafting. I normally don't write scripts for my videos, by the way.
Right.
I at most I'll have an outline of like, okay, here's my 10 bullet points. Let's make that 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I will just off the cuff just ramble and be done. This video has to be scripted because there is so much content going into it, and words are going to be very important. But
yeah.
One of the diagrams I'm going to show is one of the most basic things you can do in programming is how do you get the length of the string. And I'm going to show the syntax for that in like 20 different languages. And the reason why like AI tools are so powerful now is like somebody like me, like I know how the hell to do it. I just don't remember which one goes to which language and which environment I'm working in.
Yeah.
And even then, like, let's say the C language, well, there's like 20 different string libraries just in C. So which one am I working with? It's like, oh, well, I happen to have these 3 libraries all talking to each other, so I need to use one here, one here, one here, all within the same function.
Yeah.
And so it's like I legitimately used to actually get migraines when programming because the amount of information I'd have to track, the amount of reference material I'd have to have open and all this other stuff. And it's like, again, like it's not that I can't do it on my own, but now like I know what I want to do. I know what I need to do. And then once the code is written, I would rather spend my time being the code auditor than the code typer.
Yeah.
And that's kind of... crap, I need to go find this post on Bluesky again. Somebody describing the difference between vibe coding and using AI for pair programming. But that's kind of the idea, is that like vibe coding is the idea that like, oh, it writes code and you have no idea what it's doing. You just hit send, just go and hit send. Versus no, you take what it gives you, you look at it, you read it, you audit it, and you can accept or reject it. Because somebody was asking like, well, what happens if it gives you something bad? Well, the environment that I'm working in Visual Studio Code right now is that for every change it makes to a file, it gives me a prompt. Do I save this or not? And when saying yes or no, it even has a text box where I can fill in information as to why. So like if I'm rejecting a change it wants to make, I'm like, okay, this is what you did wrong. Or even if I'm accepting a change, I can still type in something like, you got it 50% of the way right. We're going to start with this, but this is the other thing you need to go do now. And so that's the difference between like what I'm doing and what you may hear of just like these vibe coding things out there right now.
Yeah, I call it vibe coding. Really, it's AI guided scripting. Is what I have been doing lately, and I'm not quite ready to dive into a video with it or anything like that. And people have asked me like, hey, could you like do videos on vibe coding? No, because I'm not a programmer. I don't know enough to be able to audit the things that I would want to do. However, that doesn't mean that it's not useful in the things that I do. Because in this case, I had a very specific set of criteria that I needed this program to meet.
You're also working in a controlled environment. This isn't like something, it's not an operating system. It's not like Chrome or whatever.
Right.
Like there's no security concerns.
Right.
Because you're the only one with access to the system, the only one access to the code, the access to everything.
Right.
So, and in the real world environment, people like me legitimately write one-off scripts that are broken every single day because we have one job we need to do and we are not publishing.
Yeah.
Like I have a whole repertoire of Python scripts, PHP scripts, shell scripts, things like that I have in my back catalog, and then I go change like 20 lines out of a 100-line script because, I'm working in a different company or doing a slightly different job or whatever.
I did the exact same thing. I had about 3 dozen PowerShell scripts for common AD tasks that I would have to do.
And then you go modify the parameters and tweak it however. It's like, today I'm calling this API, tomorrow I'm calling that API, whatever. Like it's close enough, good enough for my need, even though it doesn't cover everybody's need, and you don't need to fully battle harden everything in a private environment.
Correct. And I do know enough Python where I can typically read and I go, I see the flow of where it's going.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily do it myself, but I can read if-then statements and go, I see what it's trying to interpret there. I get where it's going.
Yeah, like my other big complaint with Python is that there are too many different data types for a collection of information.
Yes.
Because like a huge chunk of my web programming world was in PHP because it is objectively a better language for the web. It just flat out is.
Yeah.
And PHP has one collection data type.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's an array or what all the other things they call it. They're all literally one data type, all interchangeable, one set of functions, methods, everything. But Python was like, hey, what if we had 5 of those and they're not interchangeable? You never know which one you're going to get. You have to convert from one to the other to call the next function, and it's a mess of a language.
Yeah. Real quick, I did want to mention, I know you normally don't script your videos. I script every video almost verbatim, and if you think the amount of snark that I had in today's video was high, here's the script of like every game and every joke and every reference and everything else, all written out. It's a lot.
Yeah, you shared a portion of the script like a day or two ago with me.
I did, yeah.
And I'm just like, I get that reference.
Exactly.
You're just sitting there as Captain America, like, I get that one.
What's funny is some of the jokes that I feel like I'm in a really good place right now where I have been down for what feels like about the last year, where it feels like not necessarily the tech world is passing me by, but that everything is so chaotic right now. Mm-hmm. I am creating videos to survive, not creating videos that I enjoy because they're fun. And
it's a job right now.
It's a job, yeah. And I've gone through this swing before, and I'll come back out the other side and whatnot. But I feel strangely energized over the last couple of weeks, and hey, let's do a V100 vGPU, build. Let's say why the common thread of just spend $50 more is the wrong advice to give today. Like things like that. And getting down to sit down and come up with, honestly, like 50 jokes, 20 of which will go completely unnoticed within a script. Just feels so good.
Hey, speaking of Energize, where's that new BC250 update? I don't know if you've heard, but there's been stuff in that world that has happened.
I've been pinged a couple 100 times.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Yes. I am aware.
Just to make sure you know what I'm talking about, right? It's the BC250.
Yeah, the BC250 40 CU unlock, which actually makes it faster than a PS5 instead of slower than a PS5, which is just a complete so good. Yeah.
So it's a PS 5.1?
Yeah, it's a yeah. Green in chat. I see you, Green. Sends over a $5 super chat, by the way. How much per month? Speaking about my hey, if you remember the Discord, what hardware do you want access to? Let's figure this out. How much a month for a 16 gig vGPU profile on a V100 with 8 to 12 threads, 16 or 32 gigs of RAM, and 500 to 1 terabyte virtual drive? We can definitely pencil that out and see what it would be. I don't know if you like the answer, but we could pencil it out. And it all depends on utilization. Like, how much power is it going to cost? Keep in mind that if I have to power that server on, that server idles at 900 watts. So that's not unless the server is being utilized by multiple people, if I'm powering it on for you, you're footing the bill for 900 watts times 30 days. At 8 cents an hour, which is basically what it is, that adds up quick. If there's multiple people who want access to the server for multiple different things, yes, absolutely. Let's freaking bring it on. And then the price goes down. That's democratization in action. Green, I love you. I'm going to call you out a little bit. Just a little bit.
Thanks for pointing out the super chat, because I didn't realize that, per usual, YouTube chat on my end just froze.
It froze on me a couple of, maybe 20 minutes ago or so, but then came back on its own. And so it's like the memory leakage thing has been kind of solved, but also not. So we'll see what happens from here. So Green has so many, I'm just going to say, batshit crazy ideas that it's hard to keep up. And it's not that they're bad ideas. It's just that a lot of times there's so much more efficient and effective ways to reach the end goal that meandering in the woods is not the way to go. He'll text me about well, what if we split a V5 or an A5000 into 24 different units and everyone could play ROMs? I'm like, because you can play GameCube on your phone. What the hell is wrong with you right now? It's a cool idea. And I'd love to see 24 of anything going on a single GPU. But at some point, you have to realize the point of diminishing returns. But you've also come up with some really, really fantastic ideas. So don't stop thinking. But maybe, but maybe run it through one more time before you open your mouth. I don't know.
Because you and I have both had some crazy ideas, and we've implemented some crazy ideas.
Oh yes,
too.
Yeah, certainly.
We still got to do that. Jeff, you and I still have to do that raid video at some point.
We do. This is sitting on my desk as a daily reminder that we. This is one of the trinkets I keep on my desk. And
you didn't even have to lean over. It's right here.
Look, I don't have very many things on my desk. This is one thing that I keep on my desk because I need to see this happen at some point in time. I don't know when, but it has to happen.
Yeah, I need to go through all of mine to see which ones are in reliable condition, and I might need to get like a second controller because it didn't like it when, doing master slave.
Yeah.
Like they were not happy with that.
No.
So I think they all have to be independent controllers.
Yeah.
And then we can see where things go from there.
Yeah, we're going to have to get 8 separate apti going on that to make it work. We're not going to get away with 4. I also have the Opteron you sent me on my desk.
Was that part of the beer package?
It was part of the beer package, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was remember, like, it had that, and then I had like some dumb note because I think I put some RAM in there too, and I'm like, here, have some happy memories.
Yes. Precisely.
Yeah, I don't even remember why I had the Opterons. I think because I had an Opteron server at one point. I think I still have it in storage. And I might have upgraded it at one point, and that's where those chips came from. Those were the original ones in it.
Yeah, that was an Opteron 2216, an F2-based processor on Santa Rosa. 2 cores, 2 threads, 95 watts.
I'm pretty sure in that box, I replaced it with quad-core chips.
Yeah.
Because that was the hot thing for that
That
box.
Was the move at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's my DL380 Gen 5 or Gen 3. I think that's
would have been oh gosh, might have been a Gen 3. Gen 5 I think was, because these chips are from about 06 is what I'm seeing. Gen 5 was 2007 or 2008, and so it was a couple years after that. I think you probably had Gen 3.
Yeah, because I've had a few of the 380, 385s from HP Compaq.
Yeah.
Depending on what year it was.
Look at these bastards up on top. FX76, 2 cores, 2 threads, 3.2 gigahertz, 125 watt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's back when chips really didn't idle either.
No. There was no steps.
You just burned power
24/7. Yep.
Yeah, because I still have my super old retro server upstairs. It's dual socket, single core per socket. Was it 3.05 gigahertz?
3.06.
Yeah. 3.06. Yeah. Yeah. It predates PCI Express.
Yep.
But I do have a 10 gig PCI NIC in it.
Is it 10 gig PCI X, I'm assuming?
PCI X 266
yeah.
Or 233 or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 64-bit.
Yes.
So like the near the top end of PCI X. And even then it does not get 10 gig.
Yeah. I have a really, really fun motherboard still that because I've lived near the Intel Portland campus for most of my life, and Craigslist was a thing in 2008, you could find some really, really fun things on Craigslist back then, including unreleased processors and motherboards and memory kits and all kinds of like engineering sample things that would like leak their ways out.
ESQS,
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore, but I do have, hold on.
Yeah, because most of the stuff that we call like ES or QS today are usually just hyperscale or private processors.
Yeah. So this is Tech Power Up's database for Intel Nocona Core, which was similar generation. So it was 2004, 90 nanometer process, socket 604, and you see 2.8 to 3.6 gigahertz. What if I told you I have a 2-core, 4-thread version of a Nocona core?
Interesting.
On a dual socket that I bought in 2008 for $200 cash. Motherboard and dual chips.
Yeah, because like older tech people just throwaway, essentially, right?
Yeah. At that point, by 2008, the Q6600 had arrived. Like, the Core 2 quad had arrived, and people are like, quad core, sweet. And so this guy who happened to have an Intel engineering sample of an Intel Xeon Nocona, which was 2-core and 4-thread, which, by the way, hyper-threading, not overly common back then.
No, it wasn't, no.
Yeah. In 2008, I was running a 4-core, 8-threaded workstation as my main desktop.
A little bit of tech trivia from way the hell back in the day.
Or sorry, 2006. 2006 is when I had that. Because 2008, I built myself my i7 Nehalem.
Hyper-threading and speed step both broke 1 amp. The MP3 decompression engine and the audio output engine had heavy stuttering issues because of the dynamic clock speeds, because also the CPU would stall when it was switching clock speeds. Yeah, there were a lot of issues with the early hyperthreading. That was a common point of discussion in that community. It was like, yeah, turn off HT, turn off your speed step stuff if you're having audio issues with a 1 amp.
Yeah.
And it wasn't limited to just 1 amp. This was like Windows audio pipeline as a whole, as far as I know.
Yeah. I do remember Windows XP having quite a few like weird audio bugs as we were moving from ISA and direct bit control into like digital audio space. Yeah.
First i7 was a 4770K. Well, the laptop that just crashed was a 6700K.
Yeah, 4770K. That is so many people's intro to like high-end PC gaming. Like that particular chip, either that or the Ivy Bridge, the 3770K.
Yeah, because that was the jump because a lot of people jumped from single core to quad without that middle step.
Yeah.
And then quad core was just like, oh, 14 plus 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 plus.
Yes. Yeah. Couple more super chats. Zeus chimes in. A little home lab hazards. So does expensive idea shill badge turn gold now since my $700 bullying is getting even more valuable now? Which $700 bullying? Is this the BC250 or which?
I think he's referencing the original BC250, like making people buy the chassis as a whole.
I think so, yeah. No, because the chassis that I have now is not the original one you bullied me into buying. You bullied me into buying a BC250 because you thought it was going to be big. And then I got it, and it didn't work for anything. And so I sold it. And that chassis is at Reactors right now.
Yeah, you sold it so far away.
I did. And so Reactor has your original BC250. I then watched the prices steadily decline until they had hit $400 for a fully filled chassis of 12 nodes, including rails. And I offered
bonkers.
And I offered $250 and got it accepted. So I paid $250 for my 12 node chassis. I then did the follow-up video where we could run Bazite on them. And I said, it works. It's good, but it's not terrific because I don't know if we'll ever get the last hurdle unlocked, which is hardware acceleration. Hardware accelerated encode.
Yeah, video encode
which is really what's needed if you want to run a full chassis of these and be able to play games on them. If you want to just pull a node out and put it in your own box, fantastic device. If you want 12 nodes in a server where you access remotely, still a little jank. And so I did my last video on them. I then sold 10 of the nodes. Now, I didn't do the normal YouTuber thing of jack up the price from $250 for a chassis to $250 for an individual node, which is kind of what it's done. Mm-hmm. I could have made bank. I sold it to the community for $100 a pop. I sold it back to people in the community, in our server, for a pretty good price.
And that was already less than eBay price at the point you were selling it.
It was half price. I took the eBay price and I slashed it in half. And I said, if anyone wants a node, I've got the nodes. I still have 2 nodes left. And I still have the chassis left. So if anyone wants those, DM me. I still might fire that server back up, or at least one of the nodes back up, and then explore the 40CU unlock as a local workstation. But it kind of depends on, honestly, what happens with PC pricing over the next couple of months, if that's even interesting to explore, because it's still just an RX 6700 with 6 gigs of system RAM and 10 gigs of video memory. Like, it still has limited use cases. It's way better than it used to be, and it is legitimately a good thing. But also, would I invest in those as a primary system?
No.
Yeah, it's a really cool oddity.
Yeah, like...
Give me a Chinese scalper who will upgrade my LPDDR5X or GDDR5 to like 32 gigs, but I can't afford the 32 gigs anyway because memory prices are through the roof. Like,
oh, that's terrible right now.
Like, God, if we could turn this into a 32 gig system, I'm way more on board. But the problem is 8 gigs on a system level for an OS, even on the Linux side of things, is starting to feel a little constrained, let alone 8 gigs on the video memory side, and we've got the worst of both worlds with a 16 gig APU. And so it's still a constrained system, and there's no hardware encode, and you have to hack together a cooler, and you have to hack together a power solution, and...
So, Green just points out it's 15 to 20% faster than the Steambox GPU spec, but the problem with that is that...
I can buy a Steambox.
Well, no. The Steambox is going to be just like the Steam Deck, where it is targeted hardware by the developers. It's not just random PC, random system. It will be in a highly optimized target. So even if spec on paper is lower, it will perform better.
Yes.
Just straight up, it will. Plus the ease of use. This what neither of us put in the show notes, but Linus LTT put their conclusion to the Linux Gaming Challenge today.
I was literally watching that in the 15 minutes before I got on the show. I am at the 831 out of 2853. I have paused it and so I can finish it in the end. I really like the first 8 minutes that I've seen.
Yeah, and I mean the rest of it is just going into nitty-gritty details because the beginning is the overview, more or less.
Yeah.
It's like user experience matters.
Yes.
Like, we are a lot of tinkers in this community, but to the average person, and even as tech people ourselves, like, when my laptop broke for this stream, what did I do?
Open a Mac.
I grabbed my freaking machine that I know is 100% reliable. The machine that never fails.
Yep.
I was trying to have the fun, jank, cool system, and I have used it on stream before with you.
Yes.
I don't exactly know why it died today, but when I was benchmarking it for my own video, I was running into constant issues. So yeah, no, like, user experience. Like, you can't quantify the dollar value of the time of me just... Like, from the time the stream crashed, me having to go get this laptop, set it down, set it up, turn it on, was 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
It took me 45 minutes to set up the other laptop.
Yep.
And we're streaming, we're going, and I don't... Like, I'm running this on battery right now, right? We've been on air for an hour now.
Yeah.
I have 76% left.
Yeah. And you're not even worried.
I've used a quarter of my battery on a live stream, which, yeah, that means I have, what, like 4 hours worth of live stream potential on this thing?
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year, I wanted to go to Computex, but Computex is expensive. Computex is a $20,000 ticket. If you want to travel there and do media and bring camera gear and get a hotel, and Computex is expensive, man. And I wasn't sure if I was going to do it. And then last year, Supermicro reached out and they said, hey, we're going to introduce a couple of things at Computex. Would you be interested in doing a sponsored video? We will pay for your trip and pay for the content. And I said, I'm in. Do you know what I did the day that I signed the contract? It wasn't make sure my GPD Win Max 2 that runs Windows and Linux dual boot and is a lot of fun and runs a 6900U AMD 8-core CPU. And I've done multiple live streams from this before, and I've even done some video editing from this little 10.5-inch screen. It's a great laptop. Do you know what I did?
You've mentioned it multiple times on live streams that, I just had this little thing sitting on the table at this random bar.
This is great. This is such a good machine. Do you know what I did the day that I signed my contract to be sponsored by Supermicro to go cover Computex? I went to Costco and bought a MacBook Air.
Yeah.
Because I will have no problems with that when I'm remote.
Part of the reason I was willing to pay so much money on this M5 Max is I was, 2 or 3 months after launch, I bought the M1 Air. Mm-hmm. I've been a vehement anti-Apple person so much that I've had friends loan me Apple hardware just to do validation testing for websites that I was developing. That's it. Prior to that, my last Apple II thing the last Apple thing I owned was an Apple II. And that was handed down to me because obviously that's before my time a little bit. Not by much, but a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they're late 70s, early 80s for that hardware.
I've got a 2GS in my garage if you want to test any if you got any validation testing to do.
No, I do have validation testing for that. Probably late this year, early next year. We'll talk about that. That's a later project I'm working on. But I've been that much anti-Apple, and I bought it specifically because, again, I'm a FreeBSD developer, and I needed a faster ARM platform to test on.
Yeah.
And I knew that with talking with the VMware guys that they were doing VMware Fusion. And that meant I can run FreeBSD VMs really, really fast on that thing.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with the laptop. Damn.
Gosh.
Also, sidetrack real quick.
Yes, I have also opened a second beer. We've got the Fort George Vortex going on.
Where is that at?
Vodka, ginger beer, and lime. A little Moscow Mule action going on for you.
14% in a
Oh, damn.
I love the taste of the stuff. It hits. This stuff is good, but it hits.
That sounds really good.
The thing is, I'm a cider guy, right?
Yes.
This is one of 3 or 4 non-cider things that I drink.
Yeah. Well, that's just canned cocktails. That's, yeah.
I am very much a cocktail person.
I'm very much a cocktail person, too. You know me.
It kind of doesn't help that a buddy of mine was promoted to the bar manager of one of the top cocktail bars in the city.
Nice.
So now that he runs the entire place, it's dangerous.
Ask him for a Chicago typewriter next time you're in.
I will say the one saving grace is he works Wednesdays.
Ah.
So it's a toss-up whether I'm in the after party hanging out with you guys, which I usually am, versus going. He works a couple other days, but
yeah,
I'm usually this is what holds me back because it's also not cheap to drink fancy cocktails.
Yes, no, it is not.
One cocktail there is the cost of a case that I have right here. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I had something. Was it Apple related? I don't know. I had a thought, and it's vanished. I had something. I don't know. Vortex IPA, Moscow Mule, Apple hardware. Where did you go, Thought?
I do have a couple more supers if you want to hit those up real quick.
Absolutely.
Which was the last one that we read?
I read...
You got Zeus. Did you get the Not a Professional? Did you get Jay again?
I didn't get Jay. Jay sends over $5.
Right.
Thank you again, Jay. Green just billed my shockingly less insane than I anticipated 4X 16 gig 5060 Ti box. The 2X version is already blowing me away with inference performance.
Oh, so you have that box. Because he and I, and he and the Discord in general has been chatting about this a lot, but he and I also one-on-one chatted a ton about this stuff because he was up here for last PDX LAN, and usually because I take Amtrak down. Mm-hmm. He had a rental car, so I was usually road tripping with him as we were going places, and so we had a good amount of time to chat about these kind of things, and that was Also, the weekend I picked up my laptop, so getting to play around with it and learning from him some of the initial things I should try doing with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm still new to local LLM. This is my first experience.
Yeah.
Also, Zeus chimed in again there.
Yeah, Zeus sends over $5. Switching my family to BC250, the Linux Switch sequel. Why would I downgrade them to BC250s when I
think that was in reference to when we were talking about the LTT finale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's sorry. Not Largest Moose says, Jeff, your fidget toy hitting the desk sound is very annoying. I apologize. I have been fidgeting with a little keychain screwdriver thing. So I will stop hitting the desk with it.
Most of my fidgeting is, you see the guys twirling the things between the fingers and whatnot.
I'm usually a twirl or a pencil between the fingers. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's usually knives, but
I don't have my butterfly here, but it's over on the other desk. So yeah.
This is sitting right here right now. The only thing is that, like, with the laptop is in a very precarious spot, so I'm using it as a weight to help make sure the laptop doesn't shift down and fall over.
Dang it, my Smith blade is upstairs also. I've got a Smith blade that's really fun to kick open. It's got the ratcheted. Yeah.
I love that so much.
It's so good. Yeah. Okay. I will cool it with the metal on wood clacking sound. I apologize. The TISM can only stay focused for so long, and then I've got to do something with my hands. So.
No, because I've got this thing here. I've just been like plug, unplug, plug, unplug, just doing that one-handed over here on the side.
I will do the between the fingers fidget, but I love rotational. I love a little bit of a dig. When you're doing it, and so that's one of the reasons I have this on my desk, because I can spin it between my fingers, and and I can get a little bit of that. Yeah.
There's a couple things I play with, but I can't show them on camera just because of NDA shit. Well, it's like, things that have like personal credentials on them or whatever, or somebody else's personal credentials. So it's like there are other things similar to that. Let's say like credit cards or whatever, or something along those lines that I have. That I'm the same way constantly. It's almost like you attract a certain audience.
Without mentioning names, we had someone join the Discord in the last couple of days and ask for room descriptions, and they said because I'm ASD and I just want to make sure that I'm posting in the right room and I'm not breaking any rules or anything like that. And we had a great conversation of like, no, the rooms are very much guidelines. You can start a conversation anywhere, and as long as it's not 3 pages long, you're probably good to post anything just about anywhere.
And like if somebody says just, hey, let's move this over here, sometimes like when I was talking about the AI inference stuff I was doing, I'm like, hey, we are in the Talking Heads Discord. And I'm like, I'm going to continue this over here for anybody that wants to
let's
follow.
take it to the AI room and leave this open for the daily news. And, any conversation can start in main. That's the reason main exists. Hey, what are we talking about today? Oh, this is an in-depth conversation about hardware. Let's take it to engineering. Oh, I have a networking question. Let's take it to communications. Let's do this. Let's do that. But
they
also,
they brought up an interesting topic though, that we don't actually have a software channel.
We don't. And they said that, and I immediately realized, no, it's because the focus of my channel is mostly hardware, because that's my niche.
Or system administration, as the way that I described it.
Yeah, exactly. But I said, a parallel communication of, if we're talking about network hardware or network engineering or network development, that's all the same conversation. And so feel free to post that in the networking channel. Same thing with hardware or systems or things like that. If you're working on a software project, feel free to post it there. That's totally cool. But also, the over-under on ASD within my Discord is like 8 to 2.
No, yes. The answer is just yes.
The answer is just yes, right.
Well, because like obviously, like with me working on the Stratopi, the NTP server, right? your Discord has more knowledge of this than anywhere else on the internet. Like stuff I don't publish anywhere else, stuff that's going in my talk that people don't otherwise don't even know yet, which is why you know some of this.
Yeah.
And you've shared some of it publicly.
I did not sign an NDA, sir.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I've bounced around several channels talking about what I'm doing with that because it's just like, oh, well, it's kind of communication, it's kind of hardware, it's kind of engineering, it's software, it's the 3D printing. Like, I did some 3D printing stuff for that. Like, it's because we have a channel for that too.
Yeah.
It's doesn't like we're all the same friends, and it's just trying to keep things loosely organized.
Yeah. Yeah. There's even a couple channels in here that I don't frequent all that much, but they're super involved topics for the community, and that's totally cool.
Yeah, because I'm less active in LCARs, which is our key. People who like to make custom keyboards primarily, but basically any. Even though it's like primarily keyboards, I consider that like HID in general, like human interface devices. So keyboards, mice, gamepads, like just general HID stuff goes in there, right? And people have been sharing stuff. We have like the Car Talk channel. That's what Shuttle Bay.
I was gonna say Shuttle Bay. That's one you're not in a lot.
Yeah, I'm not really a frequent in there because I'm like, again, like I take public transit for everything. Like, cool.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate it. But, like, I have nothing to contribute to it.
You are such a Seattleite, it's not even funny.
No, it's hilarious because I used to... My career for a decade was automotive.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is I totally understand where you're coming from, too, because who runs the number 1 and number 2 public transit systems in the U.S.? It's Seattle and it's Eugene. And I'm from Eugene.
Recently, Seattle has broken a number of records for public transit in the past year. We now have the single longest single route light rail in the nation. It stretches from Federal Way to Linwood, and eventually it's going to be Tacoma to Everett, all one line.
Yeah.
We now have the highest ridership light rail in the country.
Yep.
And granted, like that number is a little skewed because, let's say, New York has subway. Subway and light rail are not the same thing.
Yep.
Even though ours goes above ground, below ground, like there's certain qualification for what's what. But if you think of like Portland as light rail, Atlanta, I believe, qualifies as light rail. But as of, and we just broke this like it's in the past 2-3 weeks since we've opened up the new line. And also, yeah, we're the first like permanent light rail across a floating bridge in the world.
Yeah. But again, I'm from Eugene, and there's some really interesting things there. Like, obviously, not nearly as big of a city. I just looked it up because I wasn't sure where it's at right now. 382,000 in the Eugene metro area versus, 3.5 million in Seattle. Like, it's a different dichotomy. But where you have, like, the length and the ridership records, we have the point A to point B records. You can get anywhere in the Eugene metro area in 35 minutes on any from any point to any other point. It is absolutely insane the efficiency at which you can transit anywhere you want to go in the city.
Yeah. I mean, here it depends on like where you're going and whether you're taking bus or light rail. Like light rail, fairly consistent schedules, but buses, they're still fighting cars.
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot to do since the new mayor's taken over. She came from one of the public transit boards, and so she's been pushing for dedicated bus lanes. And like even in my neighborhood, we just got they restriped the lanes to give dedicated bus lanes in this neighborhood, and it's certainly helping. So yeah, I've always all been for public transit for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah. I grew up down there. I didn't have a car until I moved away. I didn't need one. I rode my bike or rode the bus everywhere because I can get anywhere I need to go as fast or faster than a car. And I don't know if you've priced cars. They're kind of expensive.
Cars, gas, maintenance,
Yeah.
taxes, like everything with vehicle ownership is just hell right now. I think my chat died again. Let's refresh that. What's annoying is when it dies, you can't even F5 the page. It dies so hard, you actually have to close the tab and open a brand new one. No, I'm not trying to open another window. Thanks, Mac. I will say my Mac, a couple things are not Mac-like because I have highly customized this to not look or run like a Mac.
I don't know if anyone's ever seen my toolbar. Like most people, it's like, oh, I've got a clock and my Wi-Fi and the search, and I've got like 38 different widgets that are up there.
No, I don't have the Mac dock. I have
You sick son of a bitch.
I have a Windows 7 style taskbar.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, it's a hybrid between Windows 7 and Windows 11 style.
Yeah.
Because it's still centered, but it still shows all the text labels next to the icons. And if you have multiple instances of an application, they all individually show up.
Yeah. Okay. I do kind of like... Okay, we're going to have to talk later.
I need to show you what I've done with this thing. It is so much better for
Yeah.
efficiency for heavy usage. Yeah.
Do you have... what's the application name? Hold on. I use Magnet. Do you have Magnet installed?
I don't have any window managers right now. I've played with a few. I haven't been... The thing is, none of them do what Windows 11 Snap does. And no. You're gonna question that. But I have a 32:9 monitor. And Windows has specific things for 32:9 monitors that I have not been able to find on Mac yet.
Magnet is your answer.
Does it have a drop-down preview at the top of the screen? That's the thing. So one of the things they added to Windows 11, and one of the Mac ones does do this, but not the way that I like, is that it will actually bring up a small little window at the top with all the zones, and you can drag the window to that preview, and then the window will show up in that zone. So I'm not doing like left, middle, right zone. I do like, and it's all dynamic.
Right. The way I have this one set up is it's very similar to fancy zones on Windows Power Tools, where you can define zones that you can drag a window to, and it'll snap to the dimensions that you predefine. The cool thing is you can also define keyboard shortcuts to sling windows to. And
I've seen a lot of tools that do that, but the way that I work, I'm on the mouse. Everything is just mouse drag.
See, I am so keyboard driven in so much of what I do. Like, I love my trackball, and so obviously Elecom huge. This button right here is expose, is to throw all my windows to the wind and go, let me see everything that's open. That is where your primary mouse click would be on a normal mouse. Like, that's how much I use it.
For me, that is a button in my taskbar.
Yeah. You're weird.
I love how people are now asking in chat, like, wait, what do you have set up on a Mac? Like, it's competent? Like,
yeah.
Also, this specific taskbar that I'm using is very, very multi-monitor aware. So the way I like doing things, and again, Windows, you can customize some of this on and off, is the window or the monitor that has the window, that is the only taskbar that window should appear on.
Okay.
So each screen only shows what's for that screen with that taskbar.
Gotcha.
All taskbars are unique to their own screen.
I like that for multi-monitor. Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And this does that.
Okay.
So I was really, really happy to see that worked.
Yeah.
Like there's just, and it looks nice too.
Yeah.
People fight me on this one, by the way. I love liquid glass.
I do too.
I can understand why, because I do have an iPhone for work, so I know what it looks like on the iPhone, and that's where a lot of people are complaining about it. I'm like, okay, there, fine, whatever. I don't use that device enough to care.
Yeah.
That's my 2FA device, and I also check my Outlook calendar on it. That's it. Or if I get notifications of like, on-call notifications, right?
Yeah.
Like that device, I don't use it much.
Yeah.
On the Mac itself, like the notifications in the top right, like if you go to your what is that? Yeah, the settings drop-down thing, and then just scrolling a window behind it.
Yeah.
It looks so freaking cool the way they do liquid glass. I'm happy though that they are still listening to users, and I understand why some people don't like it. Mm-hmm. And in 27, it now has a slider to adjust how much going from glass to just basic transparency and the brightness and darkness.
Yeah.
Like there are now 2 slider bars for how much glass you want, or how much liquid you want. So they are making that fully user controllable in 27.
Yeah.
Which comes out October, whenever, something like that.
Yeah. I am so close to dropping some serious money on an M4 Studio, simply because my transition to the Mac Mini M4 has been so fantastic.
Yeah.
I am hitting some limitations with it. RAM capacity, number one, I've only got 16 gigs on this. It does all my video editing. It does everything that I need.
I will tell you, having more RAM for doing some of this has been nice.
But I do hit the 90% mark quite regularly when I'm editing.
So, Jeff, actual serious question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
When was last PDX LAN?
Last PDX LAN, April 6th.
Since then, my primary Windows machine has only been powered on once.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
You needed to grab a file off it that wasn't on the NAS? Yeah.
That's exactly the only reason I've ever powered it on, was I needed my Lightroom catalog file because you can't have that on a network drive.
Yes.
So I temporarily put it on a network drive to copy over to the Mac. That's the only time I've powered it up.
Yep.
That's how much of a transition I've made. And yes, that does include gaming, live streams like this, everything.
I switched to my Mac Mini M4 in November of last year. Late November, like Thanksgiving weekend, I think, is when I finally just hit a wall. And something happened. It was an update with Windows that went wrong, and all of a sudden I'm in recovery mode, and it's like, I need to edit a video today. I'm fucking done. And Yocto had bought me an M4 Mac Mini that I had used. I was using as like my CAD design 3D printing main workstation over on this side desk. And I went, screw it. I had a great experience in Taipei on DaVinci Resolve with essentially the same system, with the M4 basic chip, 10 core, and 16 gigs of RAM, editing videos and everything else. Why the hell am I punishing myself in Windows 11, dealing with all the problems and inefficiencies that come with it? Why don't I just switch to the Mac? And so I literally turned to my left, I grabbed the Mac Mini, I put it on my desk, I plugged it in. 2 days later, I ripped the Windows machine out from under the desk, which is in the corner of the office, like under the table. It's not accessible.
Yeah.
I have not powered it on since.
Yeah, it's been night and day, and I mean, like, it was a hefty investment because it wasn't just this. Like, I got this. Mm-hmm. I got a Thunderbolt 5 hub.
Yeah.
And then I got a different level 1 text KVM.
Yes.
Because I already had one, but I wanted a different one, so my mother has the other one now.
Yep.
As you do. But yeah, talking about like the RAM consumption and whatnot. So yeah, mine, I did opt for the 128 for LLM, but I'm like, that was the driving decider of what model to get. Yeah. But that's not the only workload. I do a lot of, as a hobby, professional photography. Mm-hmm. So at 64 gigs of RAM on my Windows machine, I was hitting that 64 gig barrier with Lightroom and Photoshop open at the same time.
Yep.
Like they just eat RAM more than they should.
Yeah.
On this, I am now running Lightroom, Photoshop, and DaVinci without having to close and swap between them.
And you're sitting at like 28 gigs, like
usage total. Yeah. Because it's also doing compressed RAM at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing that while having a full 30 gig LLM model loaded.
Yeah.
You know, I have Discord up, multiple Firefox windows with multiple tabs each. My presentation that I'm giving next week for the FreeBSD conference, I've had Keynote open for a month now without closing it. It's just always open because, like, as some new development happens, which, by the way, I was editing it today because stuff is... I put things into that presentation, and the things that I said are already wrong from last week. That's how much stuff is changing in that community right now, and it is actually because of me. That's a big part of the talk is, like, I've been diving into 5 to 8 year old bugs and finding out what the actual root causes are.
Yeah. Without spoiling too much, your NTP server project has exposed 4 ZFS bugs?
Three.
We
have
okay.
three ZFS bugs. 2 of them are already fixed.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I had to change this week. Is that somebody else discovered it years ago, and it never got touched, but they didn't know why it was a problem. I did the research, chatted with another dev. I put into the slides what the bug was, and literally the very next day the guy fixed it. So the last remaining ZFS bug, I don't know how complicated that's going to be to fix. It may not be possible to fix, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's part of the reason I'm going to this conference is to have this discussion is to it has to deal with the underlying, literally the byte structure of the header on disk.
Oh.
So, to give a quick TLDR, like I'll just give you guys the same spiel I'm going to give there, but the people there are going to be people like Alan Jude who will know how to fix it, right? Or at least come up with an idea, right? He's usually there at the conference. He's one of the people that helps run it because it's in Canada.
He's so much fun to talk to.
Let's just say he knows who I am.
Yes, I know. I've had conversations with him about you.
Yeah. ZFS is all about redundancy, right? The primary header is just known as a ZFS label, and the ZFS label has metadata on where to read the rest of the file system.
Yeah.
It stores 4 copies of that on disk. The first 2 sectors and the first 2 blocks, the last 2 blocks of whatever the volume is. And let's just assume a single VDEV or single drive VDEV. We're not talking RAID or anything or multi-drive. The most basic layout. Yeah. There's 2 at the beginning, 2 at the end. In FreeBSD, you can allocate either a partition or a full disk to a ZFS volume. So it has to be able to read both and deduce which one it's going to use based on those labels, right? When you're dealing with an appliance like a Raspberry Pi, how do you factory reset an appliance on a Raspberry Pi?
Traditionally, you re-image.
And that's where the bug comes in, actually. So you're re-imaging it, you're re-putting that label back on the drive, right?
Yeah.
But the history's been reset back to 0.
I see, but you're also zeroing everything out, yeah.
No, you're not zeroing everything out. The end label doesn't get erased in certain circumstances.
Oh.
So you have label XYZ, right?
Yeah.
2 copies at the beginning, 2 copies at the end. They're the same label because they're from the same image with 2 different histories. And because it's a 50-50 split brain, ZFS just throws its hands up in the air and says, you have a corrupt file system.
Yeah.
So I do have a proposed solution, by the way.
Wait. You helped me fix almost this exact same bug a couple of weeks ago, where I was loading an operating system, ran an operating system, ran VM. So I had installed Proxmox onto a remote server. Ran a whole bunch of different tests, installed a whole bunch of different VMs, installed hundreds of gigs. Are you finally reading Not Tech Support's comment?
No, David Ashwell.
Okay.
Rock, paper, corruption.
Not Tech Support said, the last remaining ZFS bug. Vince quoted out of context.
No, but rock, paper, corruption.
Yeah. So I had installed Proxmox on the V100 server. And I installed Proxmox 9 and installed hundreds of gigs worth of VMs. I think I had 8 VMs loaded on that box for some of my initial testing. But then, because of reasons, NVIDIA, I had to erase that install and go to Proxmox 8 and then redo everything, including all new VMs. Now, I don't have boot drives on that. I have a single 8-drive VDev ZFS pool that I just installed on. It's the boot system and it's the storage system for Proxmox. And when I went through the installer the second time with the existing Z pool, typically the Proxmox installer should zero out the Z pool, zero out any history, and format it as fresh. Well, I got into Proxmox, it booted up just fine, and I created a VM, and the VM booted just fine, and I did a little bit of testing on a single GPU, and everything went great. And then I went to clone that VM, and I got an error that said my system is out of space. And I went, what the this is a 12 terabyte Z pool. There are 8 2 terabyte SSDs in this box. Why is my single 500 gig VM being cloned telling me I'm now out of space? And so I rebooted the box and tried to clone it again, and it gave me the same error. I tried to create a new VM, and I got halfway through the Windows installer, and the system crashed because it ran out of space.
Yeah.
And I went, what the crap? And so I got the system back up and running, and my Z pool was 180 gigs out of 16 terabytes. What? This might be the same bug, where it cleared out the first 2 markers, but didn't clear out the last 2, and didn't know what space it had available, and so it simply created... It had created... What was it, 40 gigs per drive instead of 2 terabytes per drive?
It was tiny, whatever it was. It was super
tiny.
It
was something like 40 gigs per drive is all it allocated. And that was the max partition
multi-terabyte
size.
drives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On 2 terabyte SSDs, it gave me 40 gigs each. And so while I was able to load the first VM, no problem, and run my tests, no problem, as soon as I encroached on the space that it was confused about, it went, I don't know what to do. And then we had to find the right tool to be able
the right command, the right tool, because like there's a command called gpart in FreeBSD, and there's a command called gpart in Linux, and they are not even remotely the same command.
They are not the same tool.
Because that is the correct tool on FreeBSD.
Yeah.
Because that's literally like this right here. When it boots up the first time, it uses gpart to do the thing you and I talked about.
Yeah.
Because like you're flashing, let's say a 2 gig image, and you need to expand the full size of the SD card
to a
8 gig or
12 or 16 or
whatever,
terabyte
or whatever it happens to be. Yeah, so when that boots up, it runs gpart to expand the partition, and then it calls ZFS to say, "Hey, I've expanded. Go use all this new space we just allocated."
Yeah. So Vince and I had to sit down for like an hour and figure out how to expand each individual VDev partition up to the full 2 terabyte limit, and then reallocate the pool, and then reboot the server and hope it came back up.
And it did.
And it did. It worked great. But that might be in the same ilk of that bug that you discovered because of your time server.
Yeah, and I will say, ZFS accounts for 3 of the bugs in the talk.
Yeah. But
we're not going to give too many spoilers, but let's just say kernel null dereference. Yeah, kernel null dereference has been fixed thanks to this. Multiple packages in the ports tree, multiple. Not all of them. I don't even have them all in the slides because there's too many.
Yeah.
But yeah, the amount of shit that I've had fixed in FreeBSD, and not just FreeBSD, but like, ZFS bugs, that's global.
Yeah.
Right. The amount of crap just because, and this was talked about in the LTT video today. I do actually recommend everyone go watch the LTT video. Normally, I'm not that adamant about it, but the way they describe things, because one of the times they're talking about like Linus was at one of the conferences over in
He was at
And-
Sony in Japan.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, like, we're showing this HDR stuff. And he's like, well, I can't show that on camera because it's going to be copyrighted material. Can I plug this laptop in? And he was doing the Linux challenge with the Linux laptop.
He has
and
a
needed
Linux
to show
laptop and needs an HDR image.
and it just worked.
Yeah.
And then they were talking about that in detail where Luke was like, yeah, some guy was just probably fed up that his HDR didn't work, put in the effort, probably one guy, and that's why it works when you just plug it in and it just does its thing.
Yeah.
There's been so many bugs, and I've been that guy.
Yeah.
I am that one guy right now, and that's what my entire talk
Yeah.
next week is about. Is like, I just want this crap to work. You just flash the image, plug it in, turn it on. That should be the entire tutorial.
Yeah.
And so I've been adamant about fixing so many things, and I'm pushing other people to do the same. And that's basically like the last 2 or 3 slides in the entire talk. That's all I'm covering is just like
Yeah.
death by 1,000 cuts. We need to fix that.
Yeah. Green wants to know, Jeff, what's the cache size on those drives? They are... They're the Samsung SATA 1.92 Enterprise. I think they're the PM963, if I remember correctly.
Is this deja vu, or Green, did you ask literally the same question the last time I was on a show and we were talking about drives?
Might have. Yeah, this seems familiar.
I'm pretty sure, Green, you've asked that literally that same question when I've been on in the hot seat before.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think these are the Samsung Enterprise PM963 or similar ilk, similar like dev train. They're the 1.92 Samsung Enterprise SATA SSDs, and they're literally like the bleeding edge ones. So they've been really, really good.
What pisses me off the most about the world right now is that, like, I run my
As
home
if there
lab.
was one thing.
There's a lot, but like I run my home lab like a business where I'm doing multi-year budgeting for my infrastructure at this point. Because I've talked about it before, I actually have 3 home labs in 3 separate cities that are all connected with a mesh VPN.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I'm trying to keep them all in lockstep. They all have almost virtually identical servers, routers, everything, right?
Yep.
VMs, the whole 9 yards. If I deploy in one, I deploy in all 3. That is now my rule at this point. My upgrade for this year was storage, or supposed to be. I wanted to start actually spending the money to see what it would cost to replace mechanical storage with solid state storage this year, because last year the prices were dropping.
Yeah. No.
Needless to say, this year there are 0 upgrades in the infrastructure.
Yes.
Last year was networking, by the way. Last year I switched from MikroTik to Ubiquiti. But this year, what the hell do I upgrade this year?
I don't know if I mentioned this on a show recently, or if this was in just a private chat on a random Tuesday or whatever. But when I say that I'm going to switch my home lab or my infrastructure or my day-to-day tasks or something like that on a video, I genuinely mean it. And when I bought the X79 microcloud, I genuinely moved my entire infrastructure to 2012 era technology. I literally moved everything that I do day to day onto that microcloud. And that's like a come hell or high water, it's going to work. And so I have 8 nodes of X79, and a lot of it is running the 2651 10 core, 20 thread, 1.8 gigahertz, super low volt chip. I've got a couple that are higher, and then I've also got like an X99 node. I've got the node that you purchased for the channel. That is the Atom.
The D?
Yeah, the D, the Xeon D.
The D.
The D. Yes. So I have those. I'm running 5 out of 8 nodes on that chassis right now, and I'm in a really good place as far as my home infrastructure goes. And what's really funny is, out of the blue, my wife has 3 siblings, and one of them is a software developer by day for a company that I can't name, but I guarantee you've heard of them. And then the other one works for a company that you've also heard of that I also can't name. And both of them recently have been like, man, I really wish I didn't have to run Windows at home. Man, I really wish I could do Linux. Man, I like what Jeff is doing with all of his services over there. I wish I could do that same kind of thing. And so they're like starting their home lab journeys at the same time with very similar ideas based on like layouts that I've given them over like the past 10 years. And one of her brothers is running a laptop that I gave his wife, like an AMD 2500U, like a Zen Plus 4-core 8-thread.
Yeah.
It's sitting in his closet with the laptop propped up like a teepee. That's running all of his containers right now. And
I will say I have a coworker who's really into home labbing, which, by the way, apparently he watches your channel. And that's basically, he has a couple photos of his home lab, and that's what he's showing too.
yeah.
I've not shown mine in photos yet.
Yeah. But I went, if all you're doing is running containers, do you want like a full node? Like, I could literally drop you an 8-core X79, 64 gig, 2 terabytes of SSD node, and you could just have it. Because I'm only using 5 of the 8 nodes in this chassis, so it's nothing for me to just plug another one in and let you have at it. And he goes, I'm pretty good on the laptop right now, but I'll let you know. And then the other brother is like in the same mode, like, yeah, no, I've got like a little mini PC, like a 5600U Ryzen, and it's running Plex and a couple other things, and it's great. And I went, okay, cool. If you ever want more, let me know. I can just plug you in a node, and we're good to go. So much so that I looked at buying a second microcloud just in case that they wanted to expand, they wanted more storage, they wanted more compute, whatever else. I paid $399 for my microcloud and $70 for the Rails. Do you know what the microcloud is selling for today? Because of
It's $1,100, was it?
$2,000.
It's gone up that much.
I paid $399 plus $70 for Rails. It is $2,000.
The one, now that you mention, I think the one I was looking at was Sans CPU RAM.
Yeah.
Because they are selling those as well, where they pull.
You can get them for like 16 for with nothing included, including trays, which trays are going to cost you like $400 because there's 16 trays in the front of that thing.
See, the thing is, I can cheat. Like, if I need hard drive trays, I have RePC. They actually just have a bin of them for dirt cheap.
Right.
Which reminds me, I still have to go down there, because I don't remember exactly which HP generation I need for a couple of my servers. My actual main infrastructure is all Dell, I will say that.
Yeah.
But I have a couple of these DL20s that I'm using for side projects. And I need to go get a couple more trays for those. Because I have more than one DL20 now, just because I found a couple for cheap. And I'm like, I'll eventually use this for something. I'm sure I'll buy it.
Yeah. But I'm sorry that I did that to that market, because holy crap, what a good server.
No,
what a good server that has been.
It's weird because, like, even separate from like what you've done, because we do know some of this is related to your videos.
Yeah.
We are in the most blessed, cursed, simultaneous blessed and cursed time for home labbing today in 2026.
Yeah.
It has never been more popular, and I don't just mean like, oh, it's gained like 3% people per year. No. Like, there's been a massive, massive spike in the past 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Just this year alone. It has massively spiked for a whole multitude of reasons. But this is also the darkest timeline because it's never been more expensive.
Yes. That's
ever.
Exactly right.
When I started all this crap, the Pentium 1 was new, and people were giving me 386s for free. So that was only a 2-generation old computer. They were literally donating for free. And today, 2, 4, 5, 6 generation old systems, like you just said, how many thousands of dollars? Like, it's just...
Yeah.
Like, it... And that's just for the main system. Then you deal with storage and RAM, like...
Yeah.
There is no such thing as cheap storage and RAM. Like, even we talk about these 16 gig Optanes, they're going up in price.
Yeah. 16 gigoctanes that have been out of production for 6 years
Yeah.
are jumping up to like $35 when they were $4 a piece in like tray quantities.
One of my favorite things in your Discord, by the way, I'm going to give your Discord shit for something for a second.
Okay. I'll take both.
I bought a 25 pack of 8 gig SanDisk industrial micro SD cards for projects.
Yeah.
And your Discord was giving me so much crap, like, why do you need so many? Because I was just putting them in a bin for future projects.
Yeah.
Who's laughing now? You can't even buy those anymore.
I have that same pack. I have like 12 of them left over in my bookshelf over here. Because I was doing so much crap with Raspberry Pis and little embedded machines and things like that, that it's like, these need to be just a commodity object. Yeah.
Yeah, like these little 8 gig industrial cards. So the thing people may not realize, it's like, oh, if you look at dollar per gig, these even then were expensive as hell.
Yeah.
But these have, what is it, like 300 terabyte endurance or something like ridiculous like that?
It's insane.
For an 8 gig card, yeah, like, because they're not QLC. They are either SLC or MLC.
They're SLC, yeah.
Some are SLC, some are MLC, depending on which exact chip it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, when you get to, like, that level, like, either single level or double level, which MLC is 2 level, by the way, for those that don't know.
Yeah.
Even though we call it multi-level.
Yeah.
Yeah, so SLC or MLC flash, like, the endurance is just through the roof. I've never killed one.
Yeah.
I have a couple that write slow. For some unknown reason, but I've yet to kill a single one of these. And again, I'm literally doing OS development work where I am reflashing the entirety of the card multiple times a day. Jay is commenting about like me giving your Discord crap, the fact that I'm in the Discord, therefore I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, this is just a cell phone. This is all this is.
Dude, like, my entire ethos is a self-owned 24/7. Like, that's how I live my life. Like, if you see, like, my personal, like, outside of the Discord, my actual, like, IRL personal friend group here in Seattle, all of our chats are just self-owned memes back and forth. That is just how we communicate. Like, if somebody doesn't send me a meme in 24 hours, I start calling 911.
Yeah.
Like, why are you dead?
My friend group, it's either shitting on the other person or self-deprecating memes about yourself. Yeah. And if all of a sudden you start lifting up your own self-positivity, you get phone calls going, "Are you okay, man?"
No, one of the hilarious things, so my buddy who runs the bar I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
One day, like, I was up in the bar and he just asked me, like, "Vince, where are you getting all these, like, high-quality stuff from?" And it's literally me just saving memes from your Wesley's quarters. I'm just like, I know a few people.
Nothing infuriates me more than going to the corners of the internet that I tend to trowel and going, "That's a good one. That's going to do numbers in my Discord." And going down to Wesley's quarters, which the only rule is it has to be a meme that makes you say, "Shut up, Wesley." And the second to last post is someone posting that exact meme that they got from that same thread.
Which is usually me.
It's either you or me beating each other to the punch. That's usually what it is.
You and me go back and forth so many times. Oh yeah, like I'm pulling up Wesley quarters right now. Like the other big thing is now that we have all the title card generators. Because like if you think about it, like a lot of the memes from like let's say 10 years ago, a decade ago, was the demotivational posters where we just had like like Good Guy Greg and crap like that.
Yeah.
And then we just put our own text over it. We are reliving what we had 10 years ago. But with like things we
But with like Futurama and Star Trek title cards, and it's great.
No, camera, focus on that, not me.
I posted that. I want credit for that.
That was you?
That was me. Someone made the Star Trek title card generator, and I made a DS9 one that said somehow Palpatine returned.
God, that was out of everything they did with those movies, like, because, not to get on too much of a tangent, episode 7 wasn't bad.
No, 7 I thought was pretty good. It was a little retreading of old story, but that's not a bad thing.
But the thing is that's just because it's been so long and they need to bring you back in.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool, we have this new character with this new cast. They're going to go in this new direction. Palpatine.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done. Like, okay, we have the same big bad. That was the problem. It's like we have the same big bad. The same big bad is going to end the same big bad way, and then we just move on like, what? Like, you're not even writing a story.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Ocarina of Time is being remade just like Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
Speaking of retreading the past, yeah, it's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It should have been somehow Gul Dukat returned.
At least he was a better character.
He was a better character. God, Gul Dukat is such a good character. Gul Dukat and Kefka are my 2 favorite villains in all of literary history.
If you look very, very closely, you can see the 3 at the edge of the box.
I can see. I did see the tally marks. Yeah.
I will reach over and grab this. So the reason Jeff has that is because I bought
It's because
this.
Vince got that one, and he threw me his hand-me-downs.
Yeah. Jeff got my sloppy seconds.
Yeah, I got his unhoused sloppy seconds.
At least it had the plastic shell.
He at least used protection. That's what I'll say.
No, I love 6. I do love 4 more. 4 is sitting right next to 6.
4 is my first love.
I have a lot more copies of 4 than I have just about anything else other than F-Zero.
Yeah. 4 is my first love. 6 is overall 3 times better gameplay. It is such a deeper mechanic of an RPG, of building up skills, of grinding characters, of individual levels of storytelling for each character. But 4, I think, is overall a little bit better story.
I was being called out if, like, Vince doesn't know if he even has a cart in that box or not. And I'm like...
Yeah.
So the thing is with my collection, I try to run this as an interactive museum more than anything else. Mm-hmm. So if friends come over, virtually, not 100%, but 99% of what I have on the shelf behind me, and this is a 14-foot wall. It goes all the way to the ceiling, by the way.
It's tall, yeah.
And it's stocked floor to ceiling. Virtually everything is grab-and-go playable.
Yeah.
Even though I have things on display all nicely set out and whatnot, certain things are specifically highlighted. Everything's designed to be grab-and-go playable, and the few items that are not... can I reach... fuck, no, I'm way too tethered with the headphones. I was going to grab one item. The artist who did Mega Man 2, Tengen Tetris, Bad Dudes, Afterburner, all one artist.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my posters up here on the wall that I have from him that he's autographed.
Yeah.
I have an autographed box of Afterburner. So this was his very, very last show, because sadly mental health declined.
Yeah.
So he was there with his son, and his son was helping him and everything like that. Me and CERN did this together. We hunted the entirety of PRGE for a box copy of Afterburner for me to buy for him to sign for my collection. Mm. But then I have a second copy of Afterburner loose sitting right next to it. So that way I have my wall art copy and then my grab-and-go play copy. Mm-hmm. So again, anything that's off limits, I try to immediately get a second copy of that is specifically for the grab and go. So that way there's the art copy and the playable copy. So this is all like an interactive museum. And there's 40 plus consoles on the TV. Yes, I've counted. There's literally over 40 consoles, all different, from different generations, companies, everything, for people to just come over and play games. I just sit in front of F-Zero all the time. That's what you guys always get to see, like especially in my videos, just because F-Zero is my favorite, so that's what I highlight the most.
Yeah.
I just happen to every now and then put a couple things in front of them just for Easter egg reasons. Like that's why your water bottle is sitting up there.
Yeah. I use my back wall as an Easter egg thing as well. Like right now over this shoulder, that's all the different variants of OpenViro that have been public, although there's some dev boards hidden behind it that you can't see. Like getting PoE to work for a 3 picowatt device was no easy feat. Like
no.
Yeah, God, the things that we went through to develop that platform overall, and that now we have the knowledge that we can move forward on future products is huge.
Well, that in your arcade cabinet, the amount of times you specifically select, it's not in frame right now, but the amount of times, the amount of times you've put specific things on your arcade cabinet just to see if I personally would notice.
Yes, that's fun.
Because I would always call it out in chat every single time you would do a Talking Heads. I would always mention what game you were playing.
Yes,
or you had on the screen back there.
Yep.
And so that was a long running meme for a long time in Talking Heads.
Yes.
It's like, does Vince notice? Yours, I think, is an emulation box, but you can kind of see the corner there, that green right there. Ooh, yeah.
It's there. Cam. It's there. I see it.
Let's go over, Cam. Yeah, so that green is an actual arcade board.
Yeah.
That is Street Fighter 02, which would be Alpha 2 here in the United States.
Yeah.
The 03 is actually in the arcade cabinet right now. So that's
nice. Yeah, mine is an emulation board. Mine was kind of fun. I built that in the throes of COVID because I needed a project that I could do on the channel. I needed something kind of inexpensive, but my kids were going kind of stir crazy, and I'm like, let's involve them in something. And so I got on eBay and I ordered an arcade cabinet kit, and the kit was kind of garbage. Like overall, the wood quality was really, really poor.
A lot of these kits are cheap.
It was CNC routed out of the cheapest stock they could possibly find in Home Depot's dumpster. Like it was not good wood. But I managed to get it all together and finished it all up, and it turned out to be a pretty amazing little thing. And then I built some legs. There was a company years ago, wasn't during COVID, it was like 6 months before. They sent me a desk, and they wanted me to do a video on a desk. And so I did the video on I'll put the desk up. Okay, cool. And then that desk just sat in the corner of our room for like 3 years. And one day I'm like, I have this tabletop, bar top arcade system, and then a desk that I really don't care about. What happens if I just take the legs off that desk and strap them together with some metal bars and make like a sit-down arcade machine that's like you put a chair in front of and you've got an arcade machine. And so that's what that is. It's an Atzer desk leg setup. I took some aluminum bar stock from Home Depot and I just made some cross sections for the top of it and made like basically a platform that the whole thing can sit on, bolted it to the bottom platform, and we're good to go. Internally, that is a Zotac ZBox mini PC that I've taken out of the case and mounted the bare PCB on standoffs on the base of the system.
Zotac has done a lot of interesting systems I've wanted to play with.
It is an i5 Ivy Bridge mobile. It's 4-core, 4-thread mobile Ivy Bridge, but with an NVIDIA 860M graphics chip.
Overkill for an emulation arcade box.
God, it's overkill. And it runs Windows 7. Like, that's the really funny thing. Is when you turn it on, it's got the Windows 7 ribbon that pops up.
If you're emulating, that's all you need.
It's
anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to change subjects a little bit.
Yes.
Because we've hardly touched the actual news topics we gave each other.
Yes.
So Michael's in chat says global thermonuclear war. Do we have any nuclear news?
We do have some nuclear news. Look at this.
Let's talk about some nuclear war real quick.
Is that a nuke?
Oh, wait. No, the exact opposite. Never mind.
Yeah, no, this is putting nukes to work for good instead of evil. Is that a nuke in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? Small modular nuclear reactor reaches criticality in first test.
So I gave a hint very, very early in the show. I'm the one who wanted to talk about this, by the way.
Yeah.
And just a quick 5-second rant. This is actually a really quick rant. Because...
All right, Kyle Hill, get it over with.
Yeah. Microreactors, thorium reactors, and fusion reactors. Everyone's always like, oh, that's never going to happen because we don't have it today, and it's not going to happen tomorrow, therefore it's never going to happen.
Right.
I went back and I was doing research for a different project. The cost of solar in the 1990s versus today. So 30 years ago, how much has solar dropped in cost in 30 years?
98%, something like that. Yeah, like it's almost all of it.
And so that's the thing.
Remember when solar calculators, like for a basic calculator, was like $80? I do.
So that's 30 years of progress in solar. That's, for everybody in this chat, that's probably most of our lifetime. I'm assuming most people are in the same age bracket as us that are watching.
Metrics say yes.
Yeah. And so the thing is that the naysayers against micronuclear, thorium, and fusion today are the same people that were saying that it was absolutely impossible to have house-level solar in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
And I understand why. And this isn't just technological, but this is political and other things like that. There's always this commentary that, like, we can't flip a switch and solve this in 24 hours, therefore it's impossible in 30 years. And we ranted about public transit earlier. It's the same thing with public transit. It's the same thing with energy. It's the same thing with different pieces of technology, like battery technology. What were batteries in the 90s? Nickel metal hydride.
Yeah. Lead acid.
How much?
Yeah.
How much? Well, I mean, we still use lead acid today, but for different reasons
right.
than we did back then.
Yeah.
But like portable devices, like let's say RC cars, right? Because we didn't have much for portable devices otherwise.
Right.
If it had a rechargeable rather than alkaline.
Oh, it was 100% nickel metal. Yeah.
Nickel metal hydride or alkaline, which you threw away.
Yeah.
And nickel metal hydride lasted 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And took like 4 hours to charge.
Yeah.
And we just accepted that.
Yeah.
Versus today, it's the inverse. We spend 30 minutes charging for all-day battery on a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have lithium-ion, lithium polymer. Or yeah, your watch is what, like a week?
My watch can do like 3 weeks.
Really?
And what I do, so this is the all-new Pill Time 2.
Is that e-ink then? Or
E-ink display.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Passive e-ink display. Has a backlight, has Bluetooth and things like that for refresh. This battery on my wrist can last about 21 days. I got this about a month ago, almost exactly a month ago. I charge it once a week for 20 minutes when I'm in the shower. 20 minutes
makes sense.
Gets me easily 1 week of battery life.
So, like, I see a lot of naysayers against, again, the article you just shared there, the micronuclear reactors. I'm going to get just a tidge political on this. The supposed reason, not the real reason, but the supposed reason we have wars in the world, like with Iraq and everything, is over energy availability, energy consumption, things like that.
Uh-huh.
This technology promotes energy independence for every nation.
Yes.
That is a good thing. And not just per nation, but per region of a nation. So you're not
per region and down to individual.
Because right now, like Washington State, we have a surplus of energy. California has an energy deficit. We ship a lot of electricity from Washington to California right now. And that's just here in the United States, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the idea that this whole war in Iraq BS is about oil, and it's not. The United States, I think it's like 4% of our oil comes from Iraq at this point. It is.
Yeah. Iraq, but yeah.
Iraq, whichever
whichever
Iran,
country we're bombing today for whatever purposes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's not about the oil. We do. I think when I was looking at the DOE website, it was one of the .gov websites. So, like official formal numbers from the federal government, we're something like 60% domestic in the country right now, and 40% import. And of those imports, like 60 to 70% of imports is Canada. Mm-hmm. Like if we're importing energy, it's from Canada, not. And then our next one was Mexico. Like we're not importing from the Middle East. And what I didn't realize until I was looking at this recently, because I look at this every few years. In the past 4 to 5 years, for certain types of oil, United States is now a net exporter.
Yes.
So we've actually flipped to exporting more than we import, and that's for certain types, not all types. Right? There are different. There's crude oil. There's the thick and the thin. There's 2 different qualifications for crude oil.
Yeah.
And then there's the refined oil, and we're more of an exporter of the refinement, not the original.
Correct.
So we have more processing plants than other places in the world. But like energy independence democratizes countries around the world. Mm-hmm. Nuclear reactors, hearing this being fired up is amazing because it means that like the lies being told for the reasons of war go away and they have to be more honest. Same thing, and thorium, we actually have, like, even though this is the first micro reactor for independent energy, mm-hmm. there are live thorium reactors in China, and one of the countries in Europe, like Sweden or something like that, is the other country mm-hmm. that has live thorium reactors. And the biggest hurdle to all of this stuff has not been the knowledge of how to do it. It's been the material science to make sure it doesn't degrade and it's cost effective.
Yeah.
So like thorium, we've known how to do that since the 1950s or 60s or something like that. We've known the whole time how to do a thorium reactor.
Yeah.
But the salts involved corrode the metals too quickly. Mm-hmm. And everyone's going to hate me for saying this, but it's literally because of modern AI technology to do the material sciences to figure out how to solve those issues. And those issues are now being solved today.
Yeah.
And the experiments and the tests are being done, and this is one of them. I don't think I had this. I don't know if this was in the notes or not that I gave you, but actually it was. Do you have the one on the COVID injection?
Yeah, the vaccine. One? Yeah.
Dude, show that one.
Yeah.
AI-designed universal coronavirus vaccine passes first human trials. And the reason I wanted to bring this up specifically is not just that it's an AI-designed universal coronavirus vaccine, because viruses split into different types of variants over time. Uh-huh. The injection method is not a needle. This is freaking Star Trek.
It's hypo. Yeah.
We literally have hypo today now.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to make that cute little psh sound. I love we were both going there. But the thing is that like
they hyped it up on camera a bit. It's less intense than that.
Well, that actually comes. Gene Roddenberry is the one who wanted that, by the way.
Yeah.
He was just like, you can't just hold something to somebody's arm and it doesn't tell the story.
Right.
There's literally
there has
interviews.
To be an action, a reaction, or whatever else.
And also like the door swooshes and everything else. Like that was all Roddenberry. There's tons of interviews saying Roddenberry wanted sound effects everywhere in Star Trek.
Yeah.
The ambient hum of the ship was a Roddenberry idea. It's like we just can't have silence here,
right,
like when people aren't talking.
Yeah.
Like you're in a thing, it has to make a noise.
You're in the equivalent of a nuclear submarine in the 1960s. There has to be an ambient hum because you're in the dead of space with nowhere for the sound to go. It has to make a sound.
Yeah. But yeah, like a lot of this AI stuff. Crap, where was I going to go with this? I've had too many beers now. No, like this is a 14%. It does kind of hit kind of hard.
It does, yes.
No, it's just like.
Rizod says, "You got the numb tongue? I got the numb tongue."
No, I'm happy to see the direction some of this technology is heading.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the controversy around AI, but like there is good applications. And even the original, if you go back and look at the discovery of the original coronavirus vaccines, those were done by AI.
Yeah.
Not the, so like there's qualifiers to that statement.
Yeah.
So today we were talking about like, AI generated vaccine, like to figure out the exact proteins to use or whatever, right? Versus AI testing and AI synthesis are not the same thing.
Yeah.
So there's slight qualifications, but AI processes were used in the speed up of the testing of the original coronavirus vaccine.
We've been using machine learning for 40 years. And that's kind of the silent thing that no one...
Longer.
Yeah. I mean, God, Wall Street going back to the 70s has been doing, applied mathematics to trends and everything else as far as economics and investments and et cetera. There's a reason that in 1998 I installed SETI at home on my Windows 98 desktop to offset compute because your CPU didn't idle, so you might as well use those cycles for something. And that something was uploading, mathematic equations up to the cloud for, searching for intelligent life and radio signals and things.
I'm going to break your brain even further because this is something that I knew but I forgot about. But there's a new 3-part YouTube series. Only part 1 is out, and I just watched part 1 a day or two ago. The principles of modern AI were from the 1940s. And I knew this already. Like, there's a specific principle of mathematics in the 1940s that led to modern machine learning.
Yeah.
They just didn't have the compute capacity to do it back then.
Right.
We do now. AI and compression are the same thing.
Yeah.
And one part of this research I knew because there has always been a competition race with CS engineers, computer science engineers. What is the best compression algorithm we can use for Wikipedia text? And it's always been framed as compression. But this YouTuber is coming out and saying, no, like compression and AI are literally the same thing.
Yeah.
And then goes into the math of like the beginning, the middle, the end, the whole history of compression. Because what we call modern AI today started with an idea of what compression was in the 1940s, of text compression. And like I'd seen the high level information in the research. One bit per character compression.
Yeah.
It was kind of like this achievable goal people are trying to get. But if you only have 1 bit on or off, how do you figure out all 26 letters of the alphabet, capital, lower, symbol? It has to cover the whole 9 yards.
Space, upper, lower, number, symbol, etc. Yeah.
So basically 100 different characters have to be represented in 1 bit.
Yeah.
And it is possible. But it's because of the way you do the math is you're not just doing 1 bit, you're doing a predictive analysis based on certain patterns of what's going to come next from what you've already seen.
Yes.
Which, like, if I describe it like that, that's exactly what AI sounds like, but that's also what compression does too.
Which is basically just ZFS deduplication.
No. No, this is a lot more complex than deduplication because...
hey, I've seen this before.
Similar concept. But the actual practical implementation is deduplication is simple, and a first-year CS student can do it. This level of stuff, no.
You're right.
Like, this is a level of math I personally could never do.
Yeah.
Like, I understand it from a conceptual level. I could not write the type of code used that's being done in this.
It's essentially the mathematical equation of 1,000 monkeys in a room with 1,000 typewriters reproducing Shakespeare. You get 1 bit per character, go.
Yeah. And the thing is, like I said, only episode 1 is out, and I wish I remembered this guy's channel. Like, and it's a channel I normally don't watch. It just showed up on my recommended feed, so I'm like, oh, something about AI compression. Let's do this because I know AI and I know compression. What BS am I going to watch today? Somebody ranting about? But no, it was somebody who just didn't care about it, into the controversy, and just went into the mathematics.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is actually what's going on under the hood, and the way they are explaining it was. You send a Mars rover out to Mars. You have a very low bit stream. You can do interplanetary communication. You have to do a compressed stream. You can send 4 possible commands to a rover. Forward, backwards, left, or right. So that should be 2 bits. 2 bits gets you 4 possible combinations.
Right.
How do you compress that further? And so the explanation from there is, well, all 4 commands are not going to have the same probability of it happening. So forward is the most common command, so you can encode that as a 0.
Right.
Backwards, you encode as 1, 0. And then left and right is like 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. And going into the explanation of like, okay, since almost all of our commands are forward, based on distribution probability, we can compress that stream down significantly. We now only have 1 bit for that command.
Yeah.
These other commands, like left and right, they don't
instead
happen
of
that
requiring
often.
4 bits for every command, we have stripped away 2/3 of the bits from each command because of predictability, essentially, of the likelihood of that command.
If we do these other commands, the left and right commands, they will use more bits, not less.
Yeah.
We actually lose. We lose, but they are called so infrequently that it's okay.
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, because of the likelihood of certain commands appearing, the overall total compression becomes lower.
Yeah.
And then he goes from there. That's the basic starting explanation. And then he goes on from there to the alphabet, talking about text compression, and the actual, like, the entire paper that was written in the 1940s was on text prediction, where this guy basically had a book that he was reading, and his wife was sitting across from him, could not see the book, without telling the wife anything at all, was like, predict the next letter.
Yeah.
And he would write whether she was right or wrong, and started making a map based on, and would confirm, like, with the wife, like, hey, this is what I got, this is the next character, this next character. And she started trying to predict the characters. Yeah, you have the glass up.
I have the glass up.
With the Matrix code.
I'm sure a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about, like, could I encode an emulator and a ROM into the Matrix code of a glass, how much information could I encode and transmit to an end user on an etchable device?
The reason you can't, you got one thing wrong with your math last week.
Okay, what was... Okay.
So
that's where I was leading is...
Yes. You got one thing wrong with your math last week,
Okay.
and you're getting in an area that I've actually worked in previously.
Yeah.
You asked how many bits can you encode in your QR code.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that we usually see small QR codes, not the maximum scale QR codes.
Right. And that's where I thought I got off, because there are 2 reasons. Number one is... that's a large QR code with a lot of bits and a lot of things else. Also, 1/3 of that QR code is for ECC, is for correcting the rest of the code.
You need more squares than bits in a QR code.
Exactly, yeah. And I thought about that after the show of, wait, 1/3 of our 2 or 3 kilobytes.
That's variable, by the way. Actually, the error correction is variable. It's not static in QR codes.
Yeah. I was doing some more reading on it because I was genuinely curious about, like, how close did I get, just spitballing this stuff back of a napkin kind of thing.
So the people in chat saying QR codes have error correction, here's the easiest way you know. Anytime you see a QR code where the middle is cut out with the company's logo, the only reason that works is because they introduce errors and the error correction fixes that hole they cut out of the center.
Yep.
But it also makes it harder to scan.
Yeah.
Just a little tidbit of a fact there.
Yep. We're so good, we're screwing it up on purpose for vanity reasons.
QR prefers printable characters, not binary? No, actually. QR codes can be anything. There are multiple classifications. At the end of the day, they are just bits. Bits don't matter if they are ASCII characters or other things. The most common thing people use QR codes for are URLs, but you can use QR codes for V cards, which are contact cards for, like, somebody's contact information. There are QR codes for a number of other things. I can't remember all the different classifications.
Well,
but
I mean,
Jeff,
you can think of a QR code as anything as simple as a tracking dot. There was a Reddit post this last week asking why the hell Whole Foods had a whole bunch of QR sensor codes on the top, and it was because their carts did a positional tracking based on an upward-facing camera to let the cart know where it was in a 2-dimensional space to guide the customer to whatever items they wanted to buy.
So, to answer your question, though, is what kind of information density can you do?
Yeah.
I was mentioning this in chat, but I think it was before you were around in the after party, is look at the Nintendo DS e-reader. Or not Game Boy Advance e-reader.
Okay.
The e-reader were printed cards that you slide kind of like a credit card,
Yep.
but they were printed, they were not magnetic.
Correct. Yeah.
And you can load full NES games that way. It takes multiple cards, but that will give you an idea of information density.
Okay.
That's just one example, but I mean, it's bit like raw binary bit data. It has error correction. It's reliable. Like, it meets all the qualifications, so that gives you kind of the idea. Because I think the question last week was also about like your laser etching, and laser etching will have a certain level of imperfection to it versus dot matrix printing or laser printing.
Correct. Yeah, I'm not pixel perfect, and I am etching on an organic medium, which does have variance and tolerances and things like that. Yeah. And so there is a bit of that. However, I can get a pretty fine level of detail, and on an optical sensor, we should be able to read each character pretty darn well. And so there's a question about data density versus actual manufacturing capability versus readability versus custom code versus off-the-shelf code. Like, because we were also talking about like doing kanji as a form of binary or hex encoding.
Right.
Like, could I make my own cipher to encode more bits? But that would also depend on the patterns of binary that I needed to encode. And so there's a whole level of if this then that things that we got off onto.
So for reference, there is a copy of Tetris for MS-DOS that fits in 256 bytes.
Okay. Well, I think we start
Just
there.
saying.
Well, I think we start there then.
Because I'm pretty sure you have more than 256 characters on your glass.
Yes.
Like, we can do that easily.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the greatest implementation of Tetris. But you know the demo scene back in the day, it's still around.
Oh,
They're still doing things like, especially like Commodore and whatnot. But yeah, there is an MS-DOS demo scene where they do 256 byte competitions.
Yeah.
And one year somebody submitted Tetris.
Nice. It was more of a thought experiment of like, could I encode the data, but then how would I make it readable? And if I'm going to do it as like a printable product, I need to make it replicatable at least once. And so how do I go about doing that? And what level of engineering am I willing to commit to that?
So, at this point, yeah, I think we're done with that. I don't even remember. Did we put anything else in the news topics? I can't even remember what we were talking about earlier.
The only other one was OpenAI is following in the footsteps of SpaceX and going full IPO. So if SpaceX doesn't crash the economy, this one certainly will.
And if they don't, there's a couple companies behind them.
Anthropic is chomping at the bit to go right behind them.
So there's a small sentiment. It's very slowly growing, by the way. And I lucked out because I bought into this early.
Yeah.
Once companies start realizing, because the big issue is that, I'm going to back up a little bit. .com bust and boom. Everyone's like, oh, this is just .com again, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but not for the reasons people think. It is, but for a completely different reason. Some companies made out big during the .com bust, and they're still around today, like Cisco.
Amazon.
Well, no, let's go back. Cisco was the poster child of what NVIDIA is today. Like, their stock just hockey stick straight up.
Yeah.
Because every single internet company needed the connection to the internet and the ability to route to the internet, and that was Cisco, and Cisco exclusively back in the day.
Yeah.
Today, every company needs AI, and that is virtually exclusively NVIDIA.
Yeah.
NVIDIA today is what Cisco was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
100%. They are a direct mirror of each other. So a lot of money was shoved at Cisco. A lot of money is being shoved at NVIDIA. And they'll survive. No problem. The stock will drop, and then in 10 to 20 years, it'll eventually come back to whatever the inflated price is today. Like, that will happen. The problem with the .com is that and today it mirrors it. There's a lot of investor money because there is a future in AI.
Yes.
That is not I'm going to say straight up, that is not an opinion, or at least in my opinion, that is not a question, that is a fact. There is a future in AI.
Yes.
30 years ago, easily said there was a future in the internet, but nobody knew what it was yet.
Yeah.
Today, there's a future in AI, but nobody knows what it is yet.
Yeah.
And that future, while the technology is doing really cool shit today, it is. Just like back then, the internet was doing really cool shit. From a business perspective, where do the dollars come from?
Yeah.
You start with the VC money. Every startup starts with the VC money. Like, people are like, oh my God, this company's not making money. Yeah. Every startup, like if you look at Google, Facebook, Microsoft, name any of them,
they're not profitable for 9 years. Like, that's standard.
It took 10 to 20 years to turn a profit. That is normal, not the exception. AI does not change that fact.
Yeah.
That's why so much money is still being thrown at this right now. And these are still very, very young companies.
Yeah.
And startup does not mean what people think it means. It does not mean they're a brand new company. Startup is a business model, not at the age of the company.
Yeah.
Facebook, I think, was startup for 15 years, if I remember correctly. Facebook was like exceptionally long for how long they were in startup before they IPO'd.
Yeah.
So what's going on right now is that these companies don't have a business model yet. In the 90s, companies were throwing shit at the wall left and right, trying to find a business model for the internet. You mentioned Amazon. Amazon back then was selling books, nothing else. They were strictly a book retailer.
Yeah.
But it was a niche market that, like, used books or even new books, it was hard to sometimes find the book you wanted locally. So they were like, well, I got a garage. I'll just mail you some books, whatever. Like, whatever you want. Here's my inventory. I'll send it to you, right?
Yeah.
That's basically how it started. And it grew from one product group to the next to the next. And eventually down the line, they were developing some high availability infrastructure just because they were growing and they wanted to keep their business sustainable. They realized that they were on the internet. They needed to be able to do that. And they're like, well, if we spent all this time investing all of this knowledge and infrastructure to build this really high availability system, let's rent our excess capabilities, our excess resources out to others. And that became AWS.
Yeah.
I believe it was the Xbox 360 for that launch. Amazon made several press releases that they were going to sell it for $100, which is way, way under MSRP.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking like a fraction of MSRP.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's going to go live on this day.
Yeah. The arcade was $249.
Yeah. And they were selling the full-fledged one for $100.
Yeah.
They're like, we have 10,000 of them. It's going live this day at this time.
Yep.
And that was one of the very earliest tests of some of their auto-scaling infrastructure.
Yeah.
So they traded R&D budget for what it cost for that loss.
Yeah.
But other companies, Pets.com, failed. They
Yeah.
couldn't figure out how to fully make a buck on it. Craigslist, they didn't really have much for costs, so they survived. They had a small income stream, but a small debt stream that it balanced out. They've been able to survive.
Yeah.
eBay was like, you can sell old stuff, cool, like auctions, and we'll just take a % off the top. And the members became the money. PayPal came along, was like, well, no, if you were around in the 90s, nobody actually trusted the internet.
No. Oh,
eBay's
God, no.
or PayPal's entire business model was, we are the trust model for your credit card.
Yeah.
You no longer give your credit card to these untrusted companies on the internet.
Yep.
You'll give it to us once, we promise, and we will do all these things to protect your credit card. So that way, when you pay to somebody else, they never once ever see your credentials.
Yep. And now we have the Cybertruck to thank for it.
But that's the thing. Those were the business models of the 1990s
Yeah.
and the early 2000s was, how do we solve all of these specific problems? And some companies got it right. Most got it wrong.
And what's funny is it was literally solving availability. That was the problem to solve.
Again, one problem.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to sum it up in a word, yes. And today with AI, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, we are doing really, really cool stuff with AI right now. But where do the dollars come from afterwards?
Yeah.
Like Pets.com, you can get pet accessories, pet food, all this other stuff shipped straight to your door. how do they make money on it? Like, do they have the margins? Do they have the logistics network? Today, it seems like bonkers that, logistics is cheap and easy because Amazon has done it so much.
Yeah.
Like, these are questions that have since been answered, but when they were doing it, these questions were not answered yet. Shipping was expensive in the 90s and slow. I don't think most people realize that mail order service was like 6 to 12 weeks. You place an order, and that's when you expected to get the thing, and that was the common norm.
If anyone remembers TV commercials for order
As Seen on
this
TV.
album, or As Seen on TV, or MTV
Yep.
is selling this limited edition thing.
QVC.
from QVC. You place an order today, you might get it in 3 to 4 months.
That was the norm before Amazon.
Yeah.
So it was figuring out these logistics networks, and logistics networks isn't just you press order, you get a package in 2 days. How many warehouses does Amazon own today? How many trucks do they own? How many airplanes? Technically, they don't own a lot of the stuff. They actually lease the airplanes, at least. Some of the trucks, I'm assuming they're leasing, but kind of the same idea.
Yeah.
Like, it took years, upwards of a decade or two, to figure out the business model just for the internet. And today we look back on it, we're having this video chat. That was another thing I wanted to bring up is, like, when we were talking about the energy thing with the nuclear reactors. In the 1970s, AT&T had promotional videos about video chatting. About phones that you could video chat on.
Yeah.
Jeff, what are you and I doing right now?
I had this revelation yesterday. I was walking through my living room. I grabbed something to drink. I was walking through the living room on my way downstairs, and my oldest is sitting on the couch, and she's chatting with her friend. But she's chatting with her friend on video, and I went, that is something that didn't exist 12 years ago.
When you and I were kids, we did not have that experience.
Let alone when we were kids, but like 10, 12, 15 years ago, video chat was a weird niche thing where you had to... Skype was the only player in town, or very jank versions
really
of like MSN
quality.
Messenger or things like that. And it
terrible
was...
audio quality, terrible video quality.
And it was 240 by 160, 12 frames a second. Like, it was god-awful.
20 frames a second? You mean like 5?
I said 12.
Oh, 12, okay.
12. I was being generous. 12 FPS, yeah.
With bit rate compression where it's just...
It's literally just like... It's the mosaic blur that you see on security footage, but in real time, and you're trying to see something in it. If you squint really hard, there's like a 3D castle that pops out. Another reference that's like 50 years old. But she's chatting with her friend. Her friend had just gotten out of school. Her friend was walking across the empty field to go get picked up by her mom, and she's video chatting with her friend. And I went...
Dude, just cell phone bandwidth blows my mind in general.
And I went, objectively, that's nuts.
I'm going to blow people's mind here for a second. Seattle Center, which, I live in Seattle, so I'm open about that as much. But I'm in Seattle Center, frankly. That's where the Space Needle and Climate Pledge Arena are. In the middle of Seattle Center, there's a fountain there called the International Fountain. I pull over 1 gigabit on my phone cell.
Yeah.
As long as people aren't around. Because, it's designed for big crowds and everything. That's why they have so much bandwidth. Yeah. But holy crap, I'm pulling over a gigabit on public internet on a cell.
Yep.
So the big point I was trying to get to, though, like with the business model thing, and like why these IPOs are terrible right now, and they're not going to work.
No.
And going back to the post that I was reading online and what I bought into myself. Once companies realize the cost of tokens, the cost of LLM from a cloud provider versus running it locally.
Yep.
So I don't beat around the bush with the laptop that I have, because you can just go to Apple. I did not get a deal. I paid retail for this laptop.
Yeah.
You can go to Apple's website right now. Go look at M5 Max with 128 gigs of RAM. It automatically forces you. There are certain options you can no longer change, which is all of them but storage.
Yeah.
You cannot change which CPU or GPU SKU you have at that point. You only have one option.
Yep.
So you go look that up. It's $5,099. That's the retail cost of this laptop, and that's what I paid.
Yep.
But I am doing local LLM work. Like, I don't deny that I use them in my programming. I've talked about how I use it as a pair programming buddy. It audits my code. I audit its code. Like, we go back and forth, right?
Yeah.
It's not, I don't anthropomorphize it like some of these freaking tech bros on the internet.
God, I hate that.
It is another tool.
God, I hate that. Yeah.
But I've been programming for almost 30 years now. I think next year we'll actually make it 30.
Yeah.
And I've used a number of tools. We have automated tools for testing code. We have automated tools for validating code. Mm-hmm. And these work in a lot of different languages. To me, this is just the latest tool in that tool set. Mm-hmm. It was worth me paying $5,000 up front to do this once, to have this capability.
Yeah.
I've been using Gemini and ChatGPT since the beginning of the year. I say about December-ish, right?
Yeah.
But heavily, I started using it. Literally, January 1st was my day. Like, after my family left, I woke up, the morning, and I started just working on stuff.
Yeah.
Is when I started working on this weird little thing. Literally, January 1st is the day that most of that was born.
Yeah.
And that was going back and forth, fighting with Gemini and ChatGPT. They would each give me 75% good answers on each, and I would have the two fight back and forth between each other.
Yeah.
But eventually I'm just like, I'm a home labber. I like running things myself. I want this in-house.
Yeah.
I talked with my buddy Kraz, which if you've been in the Discord, I brought him in. He's one of my best buddies at PDXLAN. I've known him like a decade. Mm-hmm. And he's been great. Like, if you have Windows Server help, he's the guy.
Yeah.
And he saved my ass on that. We're talking like, he's made me thousands of dollars from a one-time bonus I got for fixing some stuff at a previous job. But he's the one that convinced me, because I was looking at M3 Ultras, M4 Ultras. He's like, no, dude, just grab the new M5 if you want LLM.
Yeah.
And there's reasons why the M5 just blows away the earlier ones.
Yep.
And I have zero regrets being able to run local LLM workloads.
Yeah.
But again, it wasn't just that. Like, as a content creator too, photography and YouTube, like, I've been doing photography for almost 2 decades now, and YouTube for 4 years now.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
As just a side hobby. I'm like, I wanted to use this, and it was actually you and Tom Lawrence that convinced me. Mm-hmm. Even though I didn't talk with Tom directly, but you've all been talking about how these random stutters you'd get on Windows in DaVinci, right? Or Premiere. You try to edit and you get these little stutters, and like, you use a Mac and they go away.
Yeah, and you're trying to scrub a timeline, and you'll drag the bar.
It's always
and
scrubbing. No, for me, it's even worse, because what I would do is I would move the timeline, and it would just jump back to where I previously was.
I had to do that to me as well. Yeah.
For me, it was 100% of the time it would do that on Windows.
Yep.
I've had that do that to me once, maybe twice on Mac, and all of my editing on the Mac.
The one issue I've still seen crop up from time to time is if I'm jumping back and forth between multiple points on the timeline, occasionally it will just drop audio for 5 seconds at a time. And it will drop the same 5 seconds of audio where it's just like, I can't encode this. I don't know what the I'm doing.
Like, because it's multi-threaded, I think is the issue, is it tried to decode it, and that thread just got stuck
That thread just got stuck somewhere, and it's in the ether, and it doesn't care, and it's not going to load it. It still plays the video over the top, and the audio's still there. Don't worry about it.
I've seen that a couple times.
Go somewhere else, wait 5 seconds, come back to it, now it'll play. And that's the one bug that drives me the most nuts, because I am jumping back and forth on timelines so often. And I'm trying to get a phrase right, or a sentence right, or a flow right, and then all of a sudden you get 5 seconds of dead air, and you go, that's not what I need right now.
But the thing is, like, so that's happened literally only once or twice since I've been on the Mac.
But it's still 20 times better than my experience on Windows.
Because on Windows, I don't have to count how many times. I have to count, like, how much time have I lost per day on editing.
Yeah.
And so but also, like I was saying, doing just even when I'm not doing video work, I do more photo work than video work. Lightroom plus Photoshop, I mentioned earlier, will actually get close to stressing 64 gigs of RAM now. Just because both of them do not know how to manage memory.
Yeah.
So it's been so nice. Just I can with 128 gigs of RAM on this Mac, I just open things, and the only time I use swap is if I accidentally load more than one LLM.
Yeah.
Which happens more frequently than you might think. And it's weird because like the way Mac does its memory management is like nothing dies.
Yeah.
Because it does compressed RAM, it looks at how frequently certain blocks of RAM are used.
Uh-huh.
LLMs will start getting compressed. And so like they will go into the compressed RAM section. But because it has to do the defragmentation and compression, the Mac just looks like it freezes. The mouse will stop responding.
Yeah.
For like 5 to 10 seconds, I'll get like 1 frame a second, maybe,
Yep.
if that.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, it's just perfectly snappy again.
Yep.
Like, so like, I screwed up. It swapped 30 gigs into swap. And then it just comes back like normal. Like, it doesn't care afterwards.
I have had 42 gigs in swap on my M4 Mini before.
But is that the one with the 16 gigs of RAM
16
total,
gigs of RAM total. And
that's why, yeah.
and it's because I've got like a multicam shoot up and I'm doing like 3 4K streams simultaneously, plus B-roll, plus a couple of... Yeah, it got nuts at a couple of times. And I went, why is this so buggy? Oh, because I'm using the NVMe as if it was RAM. Cool.
I'm going to make all of your chat sad real quick. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Firefox windows open, all with multiple tabs. I have a bunch of other stuff open right now, right?
Uh-huh.
No LLMs currently loaded, no models or anything. But I do have 95 gigs of free RAM right now. And the thing is, like, talking about this on a Mac versus Windows is like, there's a piece of...
I have 3.
So there's a piece of this discussion...
I'm at 86 wired right now, 86%.
Part of this discussion doesn't make sense to Windows users, and I'm going to break Windows users a lot right now, which broke me too.
Yeah.
So I have 95 gigs free of RAM.
Uh-huh.
There is a single pool of RAM for CPU and GPU. So that means my GPU can use 90 gigs of RAM right now if I wanted to. Yeah. Or my CPU, or back and forth, or some tasks like LLMs, it will actually, it's one pool of RAM that both will use. Like some tasks of LLM work is done on the CPU versus the GPU, and I don't have to have that cross-bus PCI bandwidth because both are accessing the same pool of memory.
Yep.
But on at the M5 Max, the memory bandwidth is over 10 times faster than DDR5.
Yeah.
So my CPU, if I'm doing CPU workloads like Photoshop and Lightroom, have access to RAM 10 times faster than DDR5 right now. Because this laptop is over 600 gigabytes a second. So normal non-LLM tasks, other stuff that I'm doing, like the amount of times I will literally just like have a shock face, I just bring my hands up, I'm like, did you like I point and click and it's done, and usually it's just opening Firefox or something.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jeff, you've had those moments on this laptop. Imagine stuff like that for like DaVinci or like big applications.
Yeah.
Like I've had Photoshop full load in under a second.
Should I just get?
No, so that's the thing. I was legitimately looking at stuff like that before I bought this machine.
It's rack mount even. Come on.
Yeah. So the pros are rack mount, but the thing that the number one thing Kraz convinced me on, and why I bought the M5 instead of anything lower, because I was legitimately looking at those.
Yeah.
Was just the memory performance.
Yeah. For me, if I did anything LLM, I've got other machines for LLM. I've got a couple of GB10s here. I've got my V100 box. I've got.
Don't even
like
mention
that.
your 6000, dude. Just stop bragging.
I know. Like I have other options. I need this to be a video editing and content creation workstation, not necessarily an LLM box. And so I'm a little less sensitive to the memory bandwidth issues. I kind of just want an M4 Studio, like an M4 Max. 36 or 48 gig, like nothing insane.
Yeah. But I will say though, like, because I was mentioning like the I am working on those slides for the FreeBSD developer conference next week. Like, a keynote is open right now. I usually leave like some amount of Photoshop open because I'm building custom images for the slides.
Yeah.
I will leave that all. I leave like tons of crap open, and then I go open a game just to go blow steam for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to close that stuff and think about how much video RAM Photoshop is eating.
Right.
Photoshop's using 30 gigs of RAM, 30 gigs of VRAM even.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Eh?
Exactly.
Like, cool, I've got another 90 ready to go. Let's go. This game's gonna use like 10 maybe, whatever. Let's go play. And it has been CarX lately. Just because I just get to drive around and do dumb stuff in town. And I know, you do not even know how many hours I spent on both the retail and the refurb site for Apple.
Yeah.
And
the problem is you can't get the studio's refurb anymore. They're just gone.
So checking the site hourly. I was literally doing this hour by hour when I went to go buy this laptop. And again, Kraz convinced me otherwise. Apple's inventory changes multiple times a day.
Yes, it does.
Things will come up. I would share them with him. They would be there for like an hour or two and then go away.
Yep.
So it's like that's the level of turnover Apple's doing with their refurbs right now.
As someone who has purchased machines from Apple Refurb dating back to 2007, yeah, I know.
Also, like, Kraz usually doesn't watch this, but I'll just give him crap anyway. Just for reference, my budget was about $2,000. Is what I was thinking mentally.
Yeah.
He was like, "No, go buy the $5,000 laptop."
Yep. Yeah.
I have zero regrets.
Yeah, Kraz is your expensive idea, Shill.
Well, because again, I was also looking at getting a desktop, not a laptop.
Right.
But he convinced me to get, because there was no desktop M5 at the time. I don't think there is now. Still.
No.
Have they?
Yeah. It's still M4 Max, or actually still M3 Ultra is still the top end SKU.
Yeah, because they haven't done a 4 Ultra yet.
Right. They've been doing every other, and so the M1 got an Ultra, the M3 got an Ultra, and the thought is the M5 will get an Ultra, whereas the 2 and the 4 only got the Max processors.
So I still run an Android phone, and you know how Android Now is on your left-hand side and gives you recommended articles?
Yeah.
So many of them yesterday and today were like, oh, at WWDC they're going to announce the M5 Ultra, which, you know, the event's already happened. They didn't. But it's just hilarious that, like, I have so many recommended articles after the event saying, oh, at the event they're going to announce this new hardware, and they never did.
Yeah.
Zeus chimes in with $2 or $1.99 technically.
Uh-huh.
I do still have that M1 Max machine, Winky Face.
So this was really funny because he this is a little bit of privilege that I will admit to, and sometimes people just give me things. Like it comes with the job. It comes with being a personality and a person that exists online that a lot of people know. Sometimes people just do nice things for you, whether it's companies or individuals or whatever else. And so I will get random emails from people that say, hey, I have this thing. Do you want it? And I'll go, yeah, how much do you want for it? And they'll go, oh no, I was just going to send it to you. And I'm like, no, at least let me pay for shipping. No, I'm just going to send this to you. And I'll go, okay. And then all of a sudden a pair of V100 32 gig cards show up, or an A5000 shows up, or a dual Epic server shows up, and it just happens, and it's nice, and I understand the position that I'm in. Zeus said, "Hey, I have an M1 Max Studio. Would you be interested? I'll trade you straight across for your M4 Mini." And I went, "That's interesting. Let me think about that." But at the time I was going, I kind of want to move the M4 Mini to another spot and then have the M1 Ultra here on my desk. And so could I just buy the M1 Ultra from you? And if you're thinking like $600 swap, I'll just give you $600 cash. Would that work? And he goes, yeah, I think that would work. And I went, okay, cool. We'll do that. And I thought we were good. Like, I wasn't trying to take advantage. I was just like, hey, you offered an M4 Mac Mini, which is $600. I'll just give you $600. We cool? And he goes, yeah, we're cool. And then he looked it up and he goes, oh, crap. The M1 Ultras are selling for $1,600. I didn't realize that.
Everything is shot up in price in this
Right.
because of LLM.
And I'm like, well, I knew that. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the used space, anything that's Apple Silicon with a chunk of RAM is shot up in price just because of LLM. And that's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever finished that thought.
A lot of the OpenClaw and people, they're just snagging them up.
Well, it's like more and more companies, and well, it's mostly individual developers, but once these companies start realizing the cost effectiveness of local LLM, because like, okay, so I spent $5,000 on this laptop, right? My work laptop is $1,000 to $2,000, but if you look at all the other benefits, my salary and everything else like that,
Yeah.
like $5,000 is not that much money considering how much I get paid for my day job.
Yeah, for infrastructure, for what you do for a living, that's cost of
Once
doing
they add
business.
all, once because they're already paying for a laptop, they're paying for benefits, they're paying for all this other stuff. Like, if I could literally double my output for only a couple $1,000s, they would do it.
Yeah.
The only reason they don't is I'm not a software engineer. I'm actually a DBA.
If you could add 8% to your output, they'll write you a $2,000 check tomorrow. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my position for 13 years. As I went, I need this, and they went, how much is it? And I go, $8,000. And they went, could you do it for $6,000? And I went, no. And they went, all right.
So when I said I worked for about a decade in automotive, that was the mentality too, where there was zero willingness to put in investment, and that's ultimately why I'm not in it anymore.
Yeah.
But no, that's the big rant I was talking about though, like the money in, money out thing, is that no company other than, let's say, the shovel maker NVIDIA has figured out how to actually have dollars in for AI versus dollars out. And that's the scary part that we're at right now, because like, sure, like we have XAI, which is, you know, Elon Musk and all his 20 companies, however many you want to quantify, OpenAI and all this other stuff.
He's got the full circle thing going on all on his own. Like,
yeah, but it's like, where are the dollars in? Who has the business model? And I don't know, like right now, I still think maybe Microsoft might be the best. And I know people like might scoff at like AI integrated into Windows, and I don't think that's where it is. I think it is more on the server side, just because of the integrations of what they can do on Azure for renting it out to other companies to build products on top of it.
Yeah, I was going to say either Microsoft or Google, I think, are best positioned right now. Those are my two bets. And as much as I
don't think Google, no. So the thing is, like, Google was the pioneer in a lot of this technology. Like, we've been following for the longest time DeepMind, like with their game AI, like, you know, AlphaGo, things like that.
The problem with Google, and let me see if I beat you to the punch with this a little bit, is they're undermining their core business model with one that costs more money and brings in less revenue.
No. I'm going to take this slightly wider as Google as a whole.
Okay.
Google undermines Google by Google being Google.
Yes. Yeah.
How many times has Google canceled a product when they have a competing product in-house, and then cancel that product because they also have a competing product with that in-house? Chat, talk, Hangouts, messages,
Circle.
RCS. Yeah, like they've had 20 communication platforms in 20 years.
Yeah.
Even like AI.google.com and Gemini are two different products.
Yeah.
Google Assistant. It pisses me the freak off what they've done with Assistant on the phone, because you hit the microphone button, that is now a generic Google search.
Yeah.
Even though the Assistant app is still there, my favorite thing on my phone right now, actually, because you used to be able to just hit Assistant and be like, oh, timer for 10 minutes when I'm cooking something on the oven. Do you know how I do that now? I will go here and I will show you. What am I searching for?
You're off, Cat.
How do you pull up the assistant? You just search for ass, because that's what Google is these days. No, like, because that's the thing. Literally, the number one thing I used that microphone button on my home screen for was timer 15 minutes because I'm cooking pizza in the oven.
Yeah.
Literally, not even timer for other things. Timer for pizza in the oven.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the timer on my oven. I want the timer in my pocket so I can go anywhere. I don't have to be in earshot of the oven.
Yep.
And they took that away from me. And even once you open the Assistant app, it does not immediately, even though the app has no UI at all, other than like the little box in the bottom of the screen, it does not automatically start the microphone. You have to open the app and then open the microphone and then give it the command and hope it still doesn't screw up.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Spicy Rewind. Thank you very much. And the thing is, like, yeah, I guess I didn't add this to the list. Maybe I added this to the list. I don't remember. Apple, per usual, comes in last, but comes in first. They're the last to bring a technology to the market, but they are going to dominate the market. Watching WWDC, that is the name of their conference, right? WWDC?
WWDC, yeah, Worldwide Developer Conference.
Yeah, so they had that this week. I watched it live for most. I caught it late, so I didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah.
But the new Apple AI is what's going to bring AI to the masses.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for them to release the new Siri for a long time. I'm not a Siri fan in general, just because I don't use iPhone. Mm-hmm. But as long as they just, if they didn't even call AI and people just started using it, there'd be zero controversy. Everybody would be using it today. The only controversy is the phrase AI at this point with what they're doing. They solved almost every single AI problem all in one sweep.
Yeah.
And the stuff they are doing, frankly, it's phenomenal. It's one of the reasons I bought this MacBook, is that, like, it's the first time in a decade I've actually been excited about technology.
Yeah.
It's the first time in over a decade we've had a new piece of technology that wasn't, let's just do this thing faster.
Yeah, let's change the way we do things.
Yeah, because for over a decade, every technology advancement is, let's just do the current thing faster. About the only thing that's been the exception is real-time ray tracing.
Yeah.
But even then, like, it's not full ray tracing. It's only slightly better lighting.
Yeah, it's hybrid ray tracing. It's
minor fidelity jump, which is the same thing as like the same other jumps we've had, which is just do the same thing faster.
Yeah.
This is the first time where I've looked at a system and like, this is actually jumping another level of technology, which is like, again, living in the early days of 386s, 486s, Pentiums, every single generation meant 10 times the amount of capability of the computer, not just in performance, but the types of programs and things it could do for you. Mm-hmm. Computers have been stagnant for a long time because we've, if you think of like a word processor, right? We've had that since Windows 95. Excel, we've had it since Windows 95, where it was already perfected then. 3D gaming was perfected in the year 2000, 2001, somewhere around there, in my opinion. We haven't done much since the GameCube.
That's kind of true. Once cell shading came in, everything else looked like crap.
It's been the same thing, but slightly faster.
Yeah.
The only exception to that I could say is the Wii with motion controls, which was supposed to be on the GameCube, but it wasn't ready in time yet. It wasn't perfected enough yet.
Right.
Nintendo already had it before the GameCube.
Yes.
But between then and now, it's just been more faster. More poly, more lighting. And for desktop applications, nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Web browser still browses the web. We had tab browsing back then. There's a couple little nuance changes here and there, like sometimes we have rounded corners because they're in style. Sometimes we have squared corners. Sometimes we have angled corners. Like, those styles have just been changing.
Sometimes they're transparent. Sometimes they're opaque.
Yeah, like, and if we talk about like, oh, Apple has this new liquid glass, so did Vista.
Yeah.
2005.
Yeah. 6.
We had glass. We are 20 years past glass at this point.
Yeah. Everything old is new again. Bring the bell bottoms out. We got glass on desktops again.
Yeah, so like when I say like this is the first thing I've been excited about in a while, it's because like from Vista to today, because Vista I think was the last major.
Did anyone else go out and buy a 22-inch touchscreen for their desktop because Windows 8 was coming out and you wanted to see if the touchscreen thing actually would work? Because I did. I went out and I bought a 22-inch 1080p 10-point multi-touch active matrix display to run alongside my standard 22-inch 1080p display because I wanted to see, is touch actually the way forward?
So real quick, I'm not going to go into the full rant.
No.
So real quick, I'm not going to go into the full rant because this is an entire probably half hour to an hour long video I'm producing right now. So like I said, the one scripted video I'm working on.
Yeah.
The mention in chat that Siri is smarter than most AI right now and bow down to our AI overloads. The biggest misconception everybody has is that there's one and only one AI. There are thousands of different types and applications of AI.
Yes.
And my entire video centers around that. By the way, I'm going to give the spoiler right now. The entire video is the review of this laptop.
Nice.
Because I said I'm doing 2 laptop reviews back to back. It's actually going to be 3 now, not 2.
Yeah.
So I have 3 laptops. I have another laptop I haven't told anybody I own yet.
That is...
You don't even know this 3rd laptop I own yet.
Spicy. That is one thing that AI marketing got wrong.
That's the entire premise. That's literally my phrase. Is that the marketing of AI is the problem, not the product.
Yeah.
It's the marketing.
Yeah. Because what was machine learning became AI, but then we developed LLMs, which then became AI. And now we have multiple facets of LLM, VLM, etc., that are off branches of that are totally separate from machine learning, but still distinct from what LLMs originally set out to be. And you have like these 3 different branches that have nothing to do with each other that everyone just calls AI, and all AI is bad, right?
They do have relevance to each other a little bit. So like I said, like there is one singular paper in the 1940s that all of this spawned from. I just mentioned that there's a 3-part series on YouTube, which part 1 is, I wish I could remember the guy's channel. I'm first video of this channel I've watched. But that they go into details, and I'm actually going to reference a lot of videos and web pages in this. That's part of what's taking me so long, is the amount of referential information that I'm pulling into this. But like, no. So the thing is, like, even calling LLMs like predictive databases, like, that is not a good description of what they actually do behind the scenes. They are a hell of a lot more complex than that today. And I want to show examples of what I am using LLMs for today, because again, that is part of the marketing problem, is that like, even like, if you sum it up, if you can sum AI up into any one statement, you're already wrong, because AIs are not one thing. Because there is not one AI, and that is the biggest issue.
Right.
We have what's called reasoning AI models right now, and the reasoning models do have a form of intelligence by one definition of intelligence, and that's another thing.
A form of logic and tricks and checks and balances within its system to go, am I just spewing bullshit, or am I actually...
Well, no, so the 1940 paper tried to give a quantified definition to what the term intelligence actually represents.
Yeah.
How do you define what intelligence even is?
Right.
And then once you define what intelligence is, what is natural intelligence versus artificial intelligence? But it was the definitive paper of what even is intelligence. And from that paper, other than people who are specifically developers developing the AI itself, and we're not talking like Anthropic and OpenAI and all that other bullshit. We're talking the people that developed the core actual like matrix math algorithms.
Yeah.
Outside of that group, I've not seen anybody actually even talk about this yet. And that's why I can't wait to see the next 2 videos in the series, because this is the first time I've seen it articulated to where a above average person can understand it, but even an average person won't.
Yeah.
Because it is the level of matrix math going on is horribly complicated to make this stuff work. But no, like just calling it a predictive algorithm is way oversimplifying billions upon billions of calculations per second. If we want to say like prediction systems, then like what's a video game other than triangles? Like it's that same type of comparison. Like it's just triangles on a screen, whatever.
Yeah.
But like if you look at Mario 64 versus a game today, they are not the same thing. And it just different genres of games, different types of games, different applications. And talking about like generated content, like one of my favorite game series of all time has been the Diablo series. Mm-hmm. And I got Diablo 1 when Diablo 1 was new.
So did I.
And I got the player's guide for Diablo 1
I beta
with
tested
the game.
Diablo 2.
Yeah, but I got the player's guide with the Diablo 1 with the game.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what was missing in the player's guide? The dungeon maps. Every player's guide for every game I'd ever gotten had the maps in it.
There are no maps for Diablo.
Why are there no maps for Diablo?
Because it's procedurally generated.
So is Diablo AI? That's so
by current definition, yes.
So Jeff, the thing is, like, I don't want to get, again, it's going to be like an hour-long video, so I don't want to go on the hour-long right now.
Right,
so
right.
I'm still scripting this.
As it is, it's 3:20, and we got to call it at some point.
Yeah, but basically the TLDR with that video is I start going into the actual definitions of what is machine-generated content and where do we start drawing these lines. Why do people accept one, not the other? Do they even realize they're in one or the other? And yeah, see, immediately there's the question like, nope, Diablo's not. But like, but why?
Yeah.
And so the thing is that like, there's a lot of misconceptions about what AI is because like, AI has been sold as one specific thing when literally there are thousands of different ones and they all work differently. And by some definitions, yes, Diablo is. Mm-hmm. By some definitions, no, Diablo is not.
Right.
It is not binary. The entire premise of the whole video is that we are constantly trying to shove everything into bucket A or bucket B when it's a spectrum.
Yeah.
And we need to start realizing that things are a spectrum and that they are not that simple.
Right. Yep. Well, cool. We covered all the news notes and about 2 hours of extras. So
it's been a spicy show.
This was a fun show. This was a very fun show. This was fun. This was a lot of fun. I needed this show. I've been working on my 9070 GRE video for about a week and a half, and it became very clear right away I wasn't going to be able to finish it for the launch review. I had too much going on outside of that, but I also thought that message was too important to just let slide or just do, yeah, here's the card, it runs great, cool. I thought there was so much more to that message that I wanted to deliver as a state of like the enthusiast hobby we all love so much. And so far the reception's been really good to that. But that launched today, like 4 hours before the show. And this is a video I actually genuinely got nervous as I was uploading.
You sounded right at the end. You're like, the comments. You made a comment about.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard you that nervous saying something in one of your mainline channel videos before.
Did you? Here's the fun. The really fun thing is, because of my ASD, I can very easily put on a mask, and my mask can be a presenter, and I can read a presentation and emulate the emotions that I need to emulate, and off we go. And I did that quite a bit in this video, where I could switch between snark and serious on the flip of a switch. And in fact, when I was introducing Indiana Jones and Red Dead Redemption, I laid it on thick, and then immediately switched emotions, and off we go. the intro to this video, my cadence changed. And it wasn't on purpose. Welcome back to Craft Computing, everyone. As always, I'm Jeff. Welcome back to Craft Computing, everyone. As always, I'm Jeff. Those are two very different emotional states.
I picked that up initially, immediately. I will say that, like, I had, because I don't script things, but I outline things.
Yeah.
I cut about a quarter of the outline for my talk next week, which is a live talk in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
I cut the snark.
Yeah.
I got too afraid. B, I ran out of time once new developments happened. But no, I actually had, these are my targets. I want to call out their bullshit. And I took every single one of those, and I've had to cut them since because I think it's going to hurt more than it helps.
Yeah, and I've had videos like that as well where I've felt very strongly about something, but I'm like, you know what? This is preaching to the choir. This is not the right message. This is not the right audience. This is not whatever. Because it's also understanding who you're delivering a message to. And if all you're doing is
for
preaching...
me, that changed. That changed for me.
Yeah, and it's there is a level of, like, talking to your peers and talking to people who actually might listen. And for me, the level of snark in this video was not directed at anyone. It was directed at the situation of...
It's the motivation of the content, because that's what changed with me. Like, my motivation for giving my talk, my public talk next week, the initial motivation and the motivation I have today are not the same thing.
Right.
Which is also why I've had to strike a lot of stuff from the talk.
Yeah. But like I said, like, if you thought the snark was thick in the video, there's a lot that's on the cutting room floor that was thicker. And
no, for everybody watching, if you watched the video today, if you think that was snark, join the Patreon and join the after party. Because I know how we act.
Yes. Yeah.
I know how we act in the after party. I know how we talk. I know what we discuss.
Yes.
That was still light Jeff. If you thought this was Vince Rants on this show, like, I see. By the way, I do legitimately own vincerants.com.
Nice.
That is one of my nicknames.
I wonder if Rhett has bought rhetalert.com yet.
Speaking of buying domain names, I did buy one yesterday.
You did. You did. Hold on. I need to. Hold on. It's here. I got it. It's here somewhere. I can get it. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional.
It's the most recent message on Discord.
We've all been following the Lego story, right?
What Lego story?
There's a Lego story. It's local to me.
I know that. That's actually how I describe when I was talking to family about it. I'm like, this is down the street from Jeff.
They're 10 minutes from my house.
It's your backyard, dude.
Yeah. What's really funny is I started seeing all this commotion about some stolen Lego collection, and I'm like, oh, that really sucks. Oh, the company's in Utah. No, it's the store that's here. I didn't realize that when it started.
We're not going to get in. I mean, we could spend a 5-hour show just on this one topic, so we're not going to.
I don't want to dive in. Yeah, we've talked about it a little bit on a couple previous episodes. There's been some more revelations, and
there's new revelations. I would say we got a 1-day reprieve yesterday, I think, but today hit hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that came out today.
Yeah, we thought that it was like, all right, everyone's kind of gathered their horses, everyone's lawyered up, we're going to get some silence, we're going to go to... Oh, no, someone had charges filed by the local DA all of a sudden. It's like, what the hell is going on?
So I will say, to calm everybody on the situation... Spend the hour and watch the CoffeeZilla video today.
He popped up and I went, I'm in. I haven't watched it yet, but he's first on my list for tomorrow.
I will give you the quick TLDR. Is Reckless Ben is reckless, as his name implies.
Yes.
Throw everything away he said. Okay?
Yeah.
Just for right now, throw away everything he said, everything he did, everything in all of his videos.
Yeah.
Start back from day one. What was he trying to do? Just investigate the situation.
Yeah.
CoffeeZilla started at the beginning and did a brand new investigation from scratch as an adult. That's it.
Good.
Reckless Ben has, I think, 2, maybe 3 appearances in the video for 30 seconds each. He has nothing to do with this video other than he exists.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's a thing who came in fly by night, made the situation worse, got it publicized, which you could argue
helped.
Good or bad.
Yeah, that helped just to get it publicized.
Right.
But the actual numbers, what was sold where, what was lost where, like the whole...
And that's really been missing from everything that I've seen so far.
CoffeeZilla's video is dollar by dollar, line by line of the spreadsheets.
Gorgeous.
So
that's what
again,
I was hoping he brought, and not just like, oh, I watched the Reckless Ben video, here's what I think, and I knew CoffeeZilla wasn't going to do that.
No, so he came in from scratch, just interviewing and getting numbers.
Good. Good.
So, again, like, if an adult entered the room, what does it look like?
He was already my #1 watch for tomorrow. Like, Thursday mornings are usually my morning to, like, sleep in, get up at about 9, get a coffee, snuggle in on the couch. CoffeeZilla's going on the TV tomorrow.
I will say his entire video, his entire focus was just the Lego collection, by the way. He never, ever touches the misconduct. Which is still a problem.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't need to, though.
Right.
We have all the lawyers, all the, like, you know, like Legal Eagle and 5 other legal YouTube channels.
And, yeah, Leonard French has been covering it.
Yep.
Legal Eagle had another video dropped today, not by the main guy, but by one of the other guys.
Yeah.
About the Reckless Ben arrest and charges pressed and things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm
so,
like, oh my God,
all of that is a separate
so
issue
messy.
now. Like, all of the police issue, all that, those are separate issues now.
The short that you posted in the Discord earlier this week.
The 1 minute short?
The 1 minute short.
Yes. That's just how I'm
suddenly everyone
is
an expert in consignment law and liability.
Anyway, did you want to bring up the webpage that my laptop made? Which, by the way, like, the reason why LLMs exist now is for memes.
Yes. Yeah.
This entire project took me 10 minutes, by the way.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
What if we misspell Reckless Ben's website? Because he made WeStealFromOldPeople.com. What if we changed the A to an E and made it all about metallic bricks?
What's funny is I saw this, and you go into, we are harvesting stainless steel from adults that are like aging out of their homes. I went, screw it, let's go surgical grade stainless and recover it from their hip implants. Like, I would rather a we steal from old people that was organ harvesting with a side of metal recycling. Like, that sounds like a business model.
Scroll down. This isn't just a single thing here. This is a full webpage. By the way, it's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can add those things to your cart.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see the cart. Like, the cart's like that's not in there yet.
So the cart hasn't been implemented. Okay.
But no, if you keep clicking things, it will actually at least increase the total items.
Yeah, no, I've seen the counters increase. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I got 2 in there now.
If you scroll down, there is a mailing list, which, oh yeah, the description there, especially like the senior sourced.
Yeah.
Read that one out.
Each component is carefully acquired from trusted elderly donors who probably don't need this anymore. Ethically questionable since 2024.
Yeah. All right, go down a little bit more. Yeah, so there's like the About Us. There's some testimonials that the LLM generated.
Yeah.
See, join the scrap force. Just it doesn't do anything. Just put in a fake email address and hit steal.
Yeah.
Which again, like I love the phraseology of everything on this.
Welcome to the scrap force. Thanks, we'll email you when we steal something new.
Okay, so I didn't fully tell everybody this. Keep the page up real quick. I'm going to have you do something on the page. So like I said, this was only one prompt generated this entire site, right?
You didn't put Konami code in. I'm really disappointed.
No, it just did. You didn't see it?
Oh, did it? Oh, it turned green. Okay.
No, it inverted all the colors. That's what I was going to tell you to do. The LLM put in the Konami code, and when you do the Konami code, it inverts the colors on the website. I did not ask for any of that. By the way, join the Patreon so you can join Jeff's Discord. The exact prompt that I used
is
there it is on Jeff's Discord. And this is a live public website, by the way. You can go to westealoldpeople.com or westealfromoldpeople.com with the STEEL. If you go to that .com, this website is live right now. Also, it's 97% compatible with major brick brands. We won't tell.
Yeah.
There's a lot more Easter eggs. Like, once I started diving into the code that it generated, open up the DevTools. It puts stuff into DevTools even as Easter eggs. Go to console. There's like even custom stuff there in the console. Look at that.
Yeah.
But to give you an idea of like how good LLMs are today, one of the members in your Discord, Cause, put it very, very nicely. I don't remember the exact phrase he used, but like, look how polished this is.
It looks sharp.
This is disgustingly polished. I've been a web dev for most of my career up until I became a full-time DBA.
Yeah.
I was never this good.
Yeah.
Like, and again, what my laptop generated this with a local LLM in 10 minutes.
This is pretty crazy. Yeah.
Like, there are so many jokes, so many puns, so many, like, you'll have to go experience it yourself.
Couple super chats before we close. Cosworth sends over $5. Thank you so much, Cos.
Speaking of which.
Yes. Just came in late tonight because my mother-in-law stopped by. She asked me about the Lego thing while she was here.
What timing. Holy crap. So, about the Lego thing.
About the Lego thing, yeah. Have I got a story? Are you sitting down? Yes, I'm sitting.
Everyone, okay, we need to go find that link again and reshare it for everybody. The 1 minute, that 1 minute little skit was perfect.
It's gold.
Are you sitting down?
Yeah. Yes, I'm sitting. Well, sit down because you're.
Yeah. What about the feds? Cut.
Yeah.
I got another one from Jay again, another $2.
Jay chimes in, $2. Thank you so much. Facebook Uncle Voice, is this still available? Would you trade for Harley parts? I've got an old Harley Sportster 550. It hasn't ran in years, but when I parked it, it was running strong. The transmission's in pieces. You're gonna need to put that together yourself. It had a little bit of a rod tick, but I have lived on Craigslist longer than you guys have been alive.
Same. Actually,
We'll trade for Mustang parts. No low balls. I know what I got.
So my arcade cabinet, I do believe, came from Craigslist.
Nice.
So you're talking about quality of arcade cabs. I opted for a genuine 1993 Street Fighter II arcade cab to fix up.
Yeah.
It's beat the hell up, and I still got a lot more repair work to do on it. But that's go subscribe to my YouTube. I'm gonna pimp myself out because I do every now and then, about once or twice a year, I do a video on the arcade cab.
Yeah.
They're long and boring, but if you like me, like grinding metal, because I had to on this one, which is weird. It has a metal control face rather than
yeah.
What is it? MDF.
Yeah. Nice.
It's a weird one where it's a metal control panel instead of MDF, but otherwise, yeah, like. Thank you for sharing the URL. And yeah, the comment about it loads fast and everything. It is a single HTML, CSS, and JS are all in one single file, so there's only one web request.
That's insane.
And it's hosted on GitHub Pages. so Microsoft is doing all of the free hosting for me.
That's amazing too.
Jeff, can you bring up real quick one more that is actually functional for people?
Yeah.
Netmask.page. This is Jeff, you had brought this up before, and I finally found the answer. How do we use AI to make YouTube videos better?
Yeah.
This is a tool that will make an appearance in a future YouTube video that I'm working on right now.
You showed me this before. Yeah.
I had my laptop, and you can type in any IP address up there.
Yeah.
But it shows how many bits of that IP address are for the host versus the network side of the address. And the video is going to go into details about network routing tables and explain how they work. Because like I needed like some sort of visual representation, and I was just going to draw something up. This took 2, maybe 3 days worth of LLM work, but that's because like the original version wasn't quite what I wanted, and I wanted to represent it better. Again, like the We Steal from Old People, that was just vibe coded, like just send it as is. I don't give a shit.
Right.
This page, like I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but then I wanted to make it better and then better and then better. And so there was 20, 30 revisions of that page before I hit send and publish. And yes, that is also GitHub pages.
Yeah.
So I think that, and there's a couple diagrams actually in my talk on next Wednesday on the FreeBSD developer conference. There are a couple slides. LLMs still suck at generating images, but they are great at HTML and CSS, as you just saw.
Yes.
So what if I just generate HTML, CSS, and take screenshots of the web page and put them into the slide? That's what I'm doing now. That is my presentation framework.
Ooh.
I cracked the code of AIs in presentation. That's it. That's the secret. So like I said, this whole time where all these AI companies are trying to find how to make a business model out of this, whatever their business model is, I already broke it because I can do this shit in minutes on a laptop.
Yeah. And on that bombshell...
I'm Vince from Circuit Rewind.
Subscribe to both Craft Computing and Circuit Rewind if this kind of content interests you. Make sure to like, subscribe, all the YouTube integration things. If you want an LTT screwdriver, check out my affiliate links down in the video description.
And I do highly recommend the screwdrivers, not as a shill, but like as a user of multiple of them now, it is my #1 go-to.
I was not a ratcheting screwdriver fan. Okay?
Neither was I.
I was totally against ratcheting screwdrivers. For 30 years, I used straight shaft screwdrivers because
Same.
I want
100%.
the precision and the feel of a straight shaft screwdriver. When the LTT driver came out, I went, that's really cute. I bet it's under-engineered, and I bet it's a plasticky piece of crap, and I bet someone else did it better because I was very much a naysayer. And so I went out and I bought one of the Baco ratcheting screwdrivers, which similar mechanism. You know, you've got the shaft right there, you've got the thing, you got bit storage in the bottom. This was only $30. This thing has fallen apart. The ratcheting mechanism binds probably every 5th or 6th time I go to use it. There's so much slop and play, not only rotational but lateral in the shaft now after so many years of use. This one is as good as the day I bought it or received it. Built it. I built this one.
I will say I actually did break my first LTT screwdriver. I did not send it back on warranty. I actually bought a second one eventually.
Yeah. But their precision bits, even better. Their precision kit is amazing.
The only thing wrong with my first LTT screwdriver, it was the black on black, by the way, so it's black shaft, so they can't replace it. They'd have to give me something else.
Yeah.
In the central neutral position, the teeth will not lock into place.
Yeah.
If I have it ratcheting one way or ratcheting the other, it's perfectly fine. If it's in the center, I can get it to free spin.
Yep.
So the teeth got chewed up a little bit somehow on my very first one. My second one, no problem at all, because I have one of the clear ones.
Nice. So
yeah, but I still use both because like I don't use it in the center position.
Yeah.
I use it as a ratchet.
And neither do I. I am now a full convert to ratchets now that I have a good ratcheting screwdriver. Yeah. So yeah, I can't say enough good things. I've used this thing for 2.5 years now, and it's been fantastic.
Comments there about broke it in a week, and they abused it. The thing is, like, I know why mine broke. I think I put a little bit too much pressure on it. I don't think it should have broke with what I was doing, but it did. Mm-hmm. But again, like, it's only in the neutral position that it fails. So I think the teeth just got slightly chewed up with something I did.
Yeah.
But it's something that shouldn't have chewed up the teeth anyway. So I'm hoping that later on they fixed whatever the issue is, because my other one doesn't have that issue.
Yeah.
And I was basically a day one purchaser of the. It's Black Shaft. I mean, I was very early on.
Yeah. So, anyway, thank you all so much for watching this very long episode of Talking Heads.
Very fun episode.
We're chasing Ian Cutress for the record. Didn't quite get it, but maybe next time.
Hey, have another topic?
I need another beer if we're going to do that.
I need a piss.
Yeah, I need to piss too, yeah. Mind you, Vince and I have been sitting here for 3 hours and 45 minutes on video. Neither one of us has stood up.
After drinking a 14%er as my second.
I got a tall boy and a pint in me. And it's time for a break. Thank you all so much for watching. Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news right here on YouTube. And as always, we'll see you next week.
And subscribe so you can join the Discord.
Do the Patreon thing. Get
the Discord. Because we're not done for the night.
No, I'm going to go piss and come right back here with another drink. So
same.
Stay tuned.
Later.
But for the rest of you, we'll see you later.